The dog that this man adopted eats his leftovers every day. It eventually evolves into a generation of Demon King. The bamboo he uses to make a fire is a treasure that others seek for their whole lives. He is called Nathan and reborn in Otherworld. He was abandoned by the system. In the 5 years since he was reborn, the system has transformed him from an underachiever into an overachiever. He is proficient in playing musical instruments, playing chess, calligraphy, painting, physics, and chemistry. He intended that the system could train him to become immortal and reach the peak of life. But with a drip sound, his immortal dream was shattered. The system has detected that the host is already very perfect, and there is nothing more for this system to teach, thus it will be disbanded. Goodbye. This is a cultivation world. If you don't teach me some immortal techniques, how can I survive? Nathan had no choice but to bring his robot and a purebred mutt he found by the roadside. He found a secluded mountain top and lived a self-sufficient life. He was afraid of being accidentally killed in a battle involving the immortals one day. On the other side, 2 girls angrily walked up the mountain from the foot of the mountain. A delicately dressed girl angrily said, "My father insists that I marry Luke, which forced me to run away from home." This is a Tsundere princess who was forced into marriage, with 2 people walking in front and behind. In no time, they arrived at the mountainside and looked up. An ancient and picturesque building caught their eyes. The princess was very surprised why there would be a household in such a desolate place. There must live a reclusive sage here. With that, she prepared to knock on the door. She also reminded the maid not to address her as princess. She walked up to knock on the door. Princess knocked on the door a few times, and the door opened. Nathan stuck his head out from the door. "It's been 5 years, and this is the first time we've had a visitor." Princess saw someone coming to open the door, and immediately started introducing herself. "Hello, I'm Stella, a simple and unassuming young lady with no background." Nathan looked at the elegantly dressed beauty. He thought to himself, "Could it be that the system is giving me a girl?" He immediately invited her to come inside. Seeing the courtyard's landscape design made this well-traveled princess marvel in amazement. Whitey cuts a watermelon to treat the guests. Before long, a completely white robot appeared. Carrying the cut watermelon, it came out and spoke. "Welcome, everyone. Please be my guest." It doesn't matter if it doesn't speak. When it spoke, it frightened Stella and the maid, causing them to panic. Stella was secretly amazed. Is this an artifact spirit? But could an artifact spirit with such high intelligence be an immortal artifact? Nathan on the side explained, "Don't be afraid, young lady. This is my butler named Whitey, and it's a robot. You can think of it as a smarter toy, a humanoid weapon with intelligence. Somehow, this thing is just a toy in his mouth. This is clearly an immortal artifact, Stella." The more she thought about it, the more shocked she became, and a hint of awe arose in her heart. After the watermelon was placed on the table, Nathan invited Stella to taste it. This is a watermelon that was just picked from the field. Stella on the side was thinking that she doesn't usually eat such a common melon. But today she couldn't lose face for Sage, so she decided to just eat some casually. She looked at the flesh of the melon, shining like a ruby. Stella was secretly surprised. She opened her mouth and took a bite. Instantly, a strong fragrance exploded on her taste buds. This almost made Stella moan out loud. The watermelon juice flowed down smoothly. She felt the juice turning into chi spreading throughout her body. The next moment, she felt a rush of heat throughout her body. Endless chi exploded suddenly. With a light hum, she completed foundation establishment at this moment. Stella's expression completely changed. She instantly turned into Nathan's little fan. She has been trying to establish a foundation for 3 years, but without success. Earlier, she had a cultivation breakthrough in foundation establishment effortlessly after eating a piece of watermelon from Nathan. She immediately walked up and held Nathan's hand, saying, "Thank you, Senior, for giving me the watermelon to help me have a cultivation breakthrough." Nathan thought to himself. It's just a regular melon. Why is everyone so excited? But I am happy that you all enjoy eating my melon. Nathan turned his head and shouted towards the backyard. Blackie, come out and enjoy some melon. Soon, Blackie rushed out. Nathan casually threw the watermelon to the dog. Stella widened her eyes and couldn't help saying, Isn't this too wasteful? This is a watermelon imbued with Taoist aura. Just given to a dog like that. Nathan explained that he doesn't have it here, but there are plenty of fruits and vegetables available. Stella said, then took out the jade her father gave her when she came of age from her waist. She handed the jade to Nathan. He accepted it as a token of eating watermelon. Nathan couldn't refuse and said, If the lady wants to come eat watermelon in the future, you are welcome anytime. Stella has a good understanding and has already established a good relationship. She left with Maid. And on the other side, 3 cultivators looked at Nathan's mountain and said, A demon has appeared here. The leopard demon in front of them was still arrogant and unruly just a second ago. The next second, it turned into a pool of mud. However, the one causing this scene was actually a mutt raised by Nathan. On that day, Nathan was fishing in the yard. However, after a while, Nathan still hadn't caught anything. He looked at Blackie nearby and said, I release so many fish fry into the pond every month. How come I can't catch any fish? Did you secretly eat them all? At first, he even released a gold carp into the pond. But now it's gone. However, Blackie was shaking his head frantically, seemingly scared. Nathan looked at Blackie, who was still eagerly offering help, with suspicion, but after a moment, he decided to let it go. He would go down the mountain tomorrow to buy some instead. The next day, Nathan arrived at the fishmonger's place. Upon seeing Nathan, the other party immediately said, Nathan, why are you here to buy fingerlings again? I've been raising fingerlings in the pond, but I still couldn't catch any fish. The fishmonger asked if you have confirmed the water quality, environment, and feed. Everything seems to be fine, right? At this moment, the fishmonger quietly leaned in and said to Nathan's ear, It shouldn't be possessed by a demon, right? Hearing the word, demon, Nathan was so scared that he shivered. Nathan, I happen to have an elephant tortoise here. You can release it into the pond. If it is safe and unharmed, it means the pond is safe. If it doesn't come out of the pond at noon, chances are it has been eaten by the demon. So, consider this as having scouted the path for you. Upon hearing this, Nathan was about to buy it. However, the fishmonger insisted on giving it to him. Nathan was just about to leave when he saw an old lady crying. Nathan was greatly surprised to hear that her daughter was captured by a demon. He couldn't help but think of the angelic young girl who always calls him her brother whenever he sees her. Nathan said, I will go bring her back. When he arrived in the woods, Nathan trembled with fear. However, for Lily, he still walked in without hesitation. He raised the princess-given jade that made him frightened. The last time the girl gave him the jade, she said that anyone from all corners of the world would give him 3 points of face. I wonder if it works for demons. At this time, he found the mark left by the cultivator on a tree. Nathan was still delighted at the thought that he could rely on the cultivator to deal with Lily without having to do anything himself. When he was about to call Blackie back, he found Blackie running frantically ahead. Nathan felt a chill in his heart at this moment. Are you rushing over to your death, you silly dog? At this moment, the 3 cultivators were surrounding a leopard demon in the middle. The leopard demon looked at the 3 of them and said, I'll reluctantly add a dish for you today. The cultivators were about to form up to deal with the leopard demon. However, it was just a matter of a brief encounter. 2 of them were defeated immediately. One of them fell to the ground and kept yelling, Lillian, get up quickly and defend yourself. Before she could make any response, the leopard demon appeared in front of her again. Her 2 senior brothers are anxious. If you dare to harm my junior sister, you will have nowhere to be buried. The disciples of our sword sect will not rest until you are dead. What do I have to fear in the wild mountains and remote hills? Just when the leopard demon was about to eat Junior Sister, it suddenly realized that someone was approaching. The three people were overjoyed. Is someone coming to rescue us? But when they saw who the person was, it turned out to be a mutt. Leopard demon took one look and immediately relaxed upon realizing it was just a mutt. But at this moment, the mutt unexpectedly spoke in human language. Leopard demon, do not force me to take action. Choose to end this yourself. The leopard demon didn't waste any more words at this point. It directly unleashed its strongest move against Blackie. However, his strongest strike was unexpectedly swallowed whole by Blackie. Just then, Blackie let out a satisfied burp. Just then, Blackie began to take things seriously. My master is coming soon. I won't waste my time talking to you now. The next second, the whole sky turned dark, and Blackie transformed into a huge claw. It immediately slapped towards Leopard Demon. Just one move. It resolved the previously arrogant Leopard Demon. At this moment, the cultivator suddenly knelt down before Blackie, expressing gratitude for saving their life. Blackie turned around and said to everyone, "Please get up. My master enjoys experiencing life as a mortal. Remember this, the leopard demon's death has nothing to do with me. When my master arrives, you cannot mention anything about me. Remember that you treat my master as an ordinary mortal, and treat me as nothing more than a common mutt." The three of them thought about its master. What an astonishing and remarkable person he must be. They quickly responded to show that they all remembered. Nathan ran over from a distance at that moment. The crowd was excited. Is this the big shot? The three disciples of Sword Sect have not had the chance to pay their respects to the sage. They saw Nathan slap Blackie with one palm. This really shattered the three people's worldviews. What kind of sage would treat the immortal dog Junior Sister like an ordinary animal? Senior brother, that's the divine dog with paws that cover the sky. Even our master may not be able to handle a strike from those paws. Then you are underestimating master. Lillian, Junior Sister, master is the Sword Sect leader, and surely can withstand that strike from the dog's paw. It's just a matter of recovering from the injuries for a few months. They observed Nathan for a while. But no matter how they looked, there was no sign of any spiritual energy fluctuations. He's just a mere mortal. At this moment, Nathan turned around and looked at them. He suddenly grabbed the hand of the eldest senior brother and introduced himself as Nathan, thanking the three young heroes for slaying the demon. But when he heard this name, he suddenly understood. Isn't this the meaning of staying in the world? No wonder Sage chose to hide in the mortal world. Sage truly lives up to the name Sage. The only female cultivator at this time greets Nathan and introduces herself as the daughter of the Sword Sect leader. It's truly fate that I can meet you today. However, I haven't finished speaking yet. Nathan was immediately drawn to the nearby demon's body. He happily said that the golden money leopard used to protect animals in its past life. The other three people were confused by what he said. At this moment, Nathan saw a peanut-sized object floating above Demon. He curiously asked what this was. At this point, one of them explained that this is the Demon Core, which can be used to enhance cultivation achievement. Nathan looked like a curious baby. He had only seen it in TV dramas from his past life. It turns out it's such a precious thing. After that, he stuffed the Demon Core into Lillian's hand. You guys have to take good care of it. But senior brother said that it was purely luck that we were able to kill the leopard demon. We cannot expect to obtain the Demon Core. Since you have destroyed the leopard demon, the Demon Core naturally belongs to you. However, in Lillian's eyes, she believes that Nathan is testing her honesty. If she accepts this Demon Core, she estimates that her fate will not be good. She was about to reveal the truth immediately, but was interrupted by a bark from Blackie. Blackie then barked several times at Nathan in succession. He seemed to understand Blackie's meaning. He said, "The Demon Core is for you. Give me the leopard demon's body." We want to taste what a golden jaguar tastes like. Upon hearing this, several people reluctantly agreed to Nathan's suggestion of letting him eat the leopard demon. At this moment, Nathan happily exclaimed, "Great! Blackie's body is so heavy. You carry it." Blackie was dumbfounded at first. Immediately, it turned its head and glanced at the three people next to it, giving them a meaningful look. The three people were directly startled by this sharp gaze. So they naturally ended up with the job of carrying the corpse. Lillian on the side kept inviting Nathan to visit the sword sect whenever there was a chance. Nathan was truly overjoyed. He couldn't help but wonder if all cultivators were this friendly. When the three of them returned home with Nathan, they saw Whitey welcoming them at the door. They were once again shocked, thinking that this was the artifact spirit. Nathan had to explain that it was not the artifact spirit. This is just a special trick. Does this scene have to be performed for every guest who visits? But in their eyes, to have such a high-spirited artifact spirit is just a small trick. Is this the world of the sage? When the three entered the house, they were once again shocked by the interior decoration. The perfect squares and circles. The floor smoother than a bronze mirror. And this chair is so soft. It feels like grabbing its own buttocks. Is this the world of Sage after a moment? The eldest senior brother couldn't contain his curiosity and asked Nathan what this was. The two of them were secretly excited. Archer finally asked the question I was just thinking about. What exactly is this thing? Oh, this is an air purifier and humidifier. Its function is to make the air fresher. It's more than just fresh. He hadn't finished speaking when he suddenly fell down. He was puzzled why senior brother pulled him down. Are you crazy? Mutt said. The sage wants to experience the life of a mortal. We have to treat him as a mortal, Sage said, to become fresh. Then it can only be fresh. Nathan introduced at this time. The water here has also been purified by a water purifier. But when the three people saw this water, spiritual water chi is simply a divine thing. It is said that the three disciples of the sword sect were shocked by everything here after Nathan. Nathan then went to the backyard to prepare food. At this moment, Archer found a scroll in a trash can. Several people opened the scroll out of curiosity. As soon as they opened the scroll, a sword and tent containing Tao rushed towards them. They were wondering why Nathan would discard such a treasure. Nathan happened to walk over at that moment. Senior brother said, "We touched your belongings without permission. We apologize for being rude. Please don't be upset." To our surprise, Nathan said that it was his own sketch. The three of them were shocked to the point that even their spirits almost disappeared. The sketch actually contained the Tao sword and tent. Senior brother suppressed the excitement in his heart and said, "Since it's just a draft, could you give us this precious draft as a gift?" Upon hearing this, Nathan was surprised that someone actually liked his draft. He immediately felt embarrassed and said, "If you like it, just take it. Why bother with giving or not giving? This is really embarrassing." As soon as the three of them heard this, they immediately made a big gesture to express their thanks, fearing that Nathan might change his mind. They immediately bid farewell and left. Nathan watched as the three of them hurriedly left. Nathan was speechless too. Is this what a cultivator looks like? He saved Lily without expecting anything in return. They only took a broken painting. Compared to their high moral standards, I fall far short. No wonder the system says I lack the talent for cultivation. Right? Blackie. Blackie just glanced silently at Master. Inwardly, he was extremely speechless. The next day, Nathan was preparing to enjoy the leopard meat. At this moment, a knocking sound suddenly came from outside the house. He opened the door and saw that it was Princess and her mother. Seeing Nathan's appearance, Princess's mother inwardly wondered, "Is this Sage?" Nathan was surprised that this young lady's mother did not appear very friendly. However, she is a beauty, so it's okay if she's a bit fierce. He immediately invited the two of them inside and invited them to have lunch together. When she saw the robot Whitey, Her mother looked at her daughter in horror. Princess, however, took it in stride and said, "These are just common little gadgets in a sage household. My mother is really making a fuss over nothing." At this moment, Whitey saw Princess approaching and greeted her. Her mother saw Whitey chatting and laughing with her daughter. She was actually very shocked. What kind of artifact spirit not only cooks, but also knows how to charm girls? Compared to the treasure of the imperial court, it's just trash. When a Michelin standard grilled golden leopard steak is served on the table, the two of them shamelessly ate with gusto, completely disregarding their image. In no time, the plate of leopard meat was devoured by the two of them. Seeing that the two of them had almost finished eating, Nathan suddenly asked, "Is there something going on that brought you here today?" At this moment, Princess said, "Nathan, to be honest, I am the Grand Princess of the Heavenly Dragon Immortal Dynasty. I made a sudden visit today because I do have a favor to ask." She continued, "My father Emperor ascended to the throne not long ago. The imperial power is unstable. Now, two powerful ministers hold great power. We are suffering beyond words. Father Emperor is compromising under duress. As a last resort, he is considering betrothing me to the son of one of the treacherous ministers in order to seek temporary peace." Princess saw Nathan's calm expression without any surprises. She immediately thought it made sense. Nathan is a sage who must have already seen through everything. Nathan, on the other hand, thought to himself, "Isn't this just the entry drama often shown on TV?" Then he continued, "Although I don't know much about your political structure, but at least I can tell one thing. This is the plot of a TV drama." This remark left the mother and daughter looking utterly baffled. "What is that?" "What I mean is this kind of plot. I have seen many versions." They, however, believed that Nathan had witnessed countless changes of dynasties. Princess became excited at this time. "Now, please give us guidance, Nathan. What should we do? Have you ever heard of the sequential stratagems?" "We have never heard of it. Please elaborate, Nathan." Nathan says that both of them have never heard of it. "Then let me show you. I'll start by using the strategy of creating something out of nothing. You first release a rumor. The rumor is to choose the Imperial Master's son as the Imperial son-in-law, which is the Imperial Master's intention. The purpose is to befriend the Emperor, and to infiltrate the power of the court into the royal authority. You then use the sowing discord strategy. Princess and the Chancellor's son have a friendly and harmonious conversation, indicating mutual affection and agreement. However, you tell the Imperial Master's son, "It's all because Chancellor's son is constantly bothering me. His father is also planning to sabotage our marriage." The son of the Imperial Master will surely be furious. Go back and tell his father. In this way, victory is assured. You only need this final plan. Watch the fire across the river. You will see the fishermen benefit when the snipe and the clam fight. Empress, that's really brilliant. Nathan felt secretly pleased. Solving this kind of problem could be easily done with just a few pages of paper. Empress couldn't help but feel scared at this moment. Just a casual stratagem from him can stir up a bloodbath. He can control the situation effortlessly. This is terrifying, too terrifying. I must not become enemies with this person. Nathan has been staring fearfully at the elephant tortoise in the pond at noon every day in the past few days. The elephant tortoise has been alive and well for several days in a row. This should indicate that there are no demons in the pond. Just thinking about this makes Nathan feel great. He went back to take a nap while humming a tune. Blackie and Whitey looked at their own master like this. They couldn't help but be speechless. The other three sword sect disciples on the other side took Nathan's draft and immediately rushed back to the sect. On the way, they met fellow sect members fleeing, and only then did they learn that a major incident had occurred at the sect. They had not finished speaking. They saw the sect leader coming with a sword energy. "What are you doing? You shouldn't have come back. If you don't leave, I will make you leave." At this time, senior brother spoke. "Master, please listen to me. We have obtained a treasure this time. Perhaps it can help us get through this difficulty. The treasure is this scroll. We encountered a sage on this journey whose dog can defeat a demon with just one move. He also has a square box that continuously produces chi, and he uses spiritual water for drinking and tea brewing on a daily basis. This scroll is what he gave us. However, the sect leader said, "You've been deceived. How can you believe in such far-fetched stories? You are too naive." After saying that, he grabbed the scroll from his daughter's hand and threw it up in the air. He was about to destroy the scroll. Just then, a person walked out of the painting. With just one finger, he stopped the sect leader's sword. The next second, a strong energy surged straight into the sky from the mountaintop. The fleeing members of the sect in the distance thought it was an earthquake. However, this was actually the sect leader's cultivation breakthrough. He only took a glance at the painting. Sect leader had broken through from nascent soul to soul projection. That's great. Master strength has greatly increased. Even tomorrow, they will have a good chance of defeating the sword demon. But they haven't been happy for long. They saw the demonic sword inserted on the roof soaring into the air. It turned out that sword demon came in advance after sensing the movement. Interesting. It's the first time I've seen a cultivation breakthrough on the brink of battle. The two engaged in a fierce battle on the verge of breaking out. However, even the sect leader after the cultivation breakthrough is still no match for the sword demon. He was defeated after just a few moves. Just as the sword demon was preparing to leave, he heard the sect leader say, "If only you could spend 2 more days to comprehend the scroll, I'm sure you would be able to protect the sword sect. It's a pity, just a little bit more." The sword demon suddenly appeared in front of the sect leader, grabbing his collar angrily. "You said I was just a little bit short. How did I defeat you in an instant just now? Don't you realize it yourself?" He took out the scroll belonging to Nathan and said, "Although your sword intent is strong, compared to the author of this scroll, you are like dust." The sword demon grabbed the scroll. He opened it and took a look. Immediately, he became furious and destroyed the scroll in anger. Later, he unexpectedly cried and said, "How is it possible for someone in this world to draw such sword intent? This must be fake." Immediately, he unleashed a raging demonic flame. "Take me to see him. I want to kill him." "I will take you to see him. But you must promise me. Spare the disciples of the sect and my parents." "That's not acceptable. I can only promise you to spare them. Kill the artist of this painting first. Then come back to kill them." In the end, Lillian had to compromise. She said to the sect, "Even if Nathan blames someone, it's my responsibility alone. I will take full responsibility. It won't involve the sword sect." After saying that, she mounted her sword and went to Nathan's residence with the sword demon. After a long time, the two of them arrived at Nathan's doorstep. At this moment, she found that her parents had also followed along afterwards. Her parents said, "No matter what the outcome is, the 3 of us will bear it together." At this moment, Sword Demon saw the broken house and felt calm inside. He didn't sense any spiritual energy fluctuations inside. At this point, he arrogantly shouted, "Sword Demon has arrived. Those inside should come out and kneel to greet me." After a moment passed, there was still no response. Lillian asked in confusion, "Could it be that Nathan is not at home?" As soon as she heard, "Not at home," the sect leader immediately panicked. "Then aren't we in trouble?" At this point, Sword Demon didn't care anymore. He unleashed his strongest attack towards the courtyard. However, his attack was blocked by a golden protective shield. Just as Sword Demon was puzzled about the situation, a huge phoenix suddenly appeared behind him with just one strike. Just now, the once arrogant Sword Demon was beaten to a pulp. Then, they saw the phoenix transform back into a jade and hang it at the door. The 3 of them saw Sword Demon looking directly at the opponent's face. He was instantly killed by a jade. They were shocked and speechless for a moment. "This is an unparalleled sage," Lillian said at this time. "Mom, Dad, let's run while Nathan hasn't come back." the two of them were greatly shocked. It was only then that they immediately realized it was better to run away quickly. Lillian was also ready to take the demonic sword with her. She was promptly stopped by her father. It is the demonic sword itself. Although it can quickly enhance the user's strength, the cost is the erosion of one's mind, turning them into a monster consumed by killing. Since Sword Demon was killed by Sage, the equipment should be picked up by Sage as well. Saying this, the three of them quickly flew away on their flying swords. Only one demonic sword is left stuck at the doorway. Speaking of which, after Nathan returned home from chopping firewood, he found a sword stuck at his doorstep. He picked it up casually and found that the sword was quite sharp. Great, he decided to use it for chopping firewood from now on. Just then, the artifact spirit of the demonic sword quietly emerged. It bewitched Nathan, saying, "Young man, you crave power. You desire to be unrivaled in the world. Do you want to stand at the top of the world? Do you crave endless wealth? Do you desire to possess beautiful women from all over the world? Do you want to wipe out past shame? Do you want to step on those who once looked down on you?" However, when these words reached Nathan's ears, he thought that there was a mosquito flying around. Artifact Spirit saw that its deadly triple attack did not have any effect on him at all. Could this person be a dead fish lying flat? After returning home, Nathan threw the demonic sword and firewood together in the woodshed. It feels humiliated. The artifact spirit suddenly appeared. It looked at Nathan as if he had just walked out of that door. It suddenly flew up and was about to go out to teach him a lesson. But it was suddenly hit by an attack. Its bones almost fell apart. It immediately hid back into the demonic sword. After a while, Little Skeleton reappeared. It was terrified and asked what kind of thing had just attacked me. It found it was a brush hanging on the wall, but upon closer inspection, it turned out to be a wicked brush. How could a mortal's home have an immortal artifact that is of a higher level than mine? This must be a coincidence. I just need to bypass this calligraphy brush. So it replanned its path. It stealthily jumped onto the cabinet, preparing to leave. It didn't expect that even the cabinet was an immortal artifact. When it tried crawling forward on another route again. But it was dispersed again by an immortal artifact of unknown origin. Little Skeleton suddenly cried with sadness. What kind of place is this after all? After a long time, Little Skeleton decided to try again. Just as it was getting excited about going out, it was suddenly bound by something. It was still wondering what was happening. A young monk suddenly appeared in front of it. Little Skeleton asked, "Who are you?" The young monk chuckled and said, "I am the Lankavatara Sutra." Little Skeleton angrily said, "Whether you're a pen or a cabinet, even a tattered book dares to toy with me." It immediately went berserk and rushed towards young monk to attack. But it was immediately slapped in the face. Little Skeleton cried sadly again after being slapped. At this point, young monk said, "How about it, fellow believer? Can you think things over now? If you convert now, there are many benefits." Suddenly, a despairing scream from Little Skeleton came from outside the woodshed. At this moment, Nathan was leisurely watering the flowers. Suddenly, rustling noises came from behind him. He turned around to see that it was an elephant tortoise. He saw Elephant Tortoise Nathan and couldn't help but exclaim. It had only been 2 weeks, and he had already grown so strong. But then, he suddenly realized something wasn't right. This seems to be growing too fast. Could it be that the fishmonger gave me a very precious species? At the thought of this, Nathan immediately felt happy and wanted to thank the boss. However, at that moment, in the depths of the pool, a huge tail suddenly flashed by. Nathan quickly arrived at the fish stall. Nathan excitedly said to the boss, "Last time you gave me that elephant tortoise, it's awesome. In just 2 weeks, it grew almost as tall as me." The boss, however, thought Nathan was exaggerating. "But my fish is even better than that elephant tortoise," he said. "The prince of the immortal dynasty wants to eat my fish. Everyone has to fight for it." After listening to the boss's description, Nathan finally understood. It turns out it was Stella. She actually implemented the plan so well. Just as Nathan was about to leave, he suddenly noticed that paper money was falling from the sky. It turned out that it was Rowan from Chin Mansion's funeral procession. The neighbors are all discussing. Rowan is such a kind person. She was about to give birth. It's gone in a flash. A joyous occasion turned into a sad event. It's really a tragedy. Nathan wondered why she was fine when she went to the city a few days ago. How come the funeral happened just a few days later? After listening to the neighbor's explanation, it turns out she died from childbirth complications. At that moment, Rowan's body was carried out. Everyone bowed their heads in silent tribute as they bid farewell to Rowan. But at that moment, Blackie suddenly started barking wildly. Nathan was just about to scold Blackie. He then heard Blackie barking at Nathan a few times. Nathan was greatly astonished. Just as people were preparing to cover the coffin with boards, Nathan spoke up in time to stop them, saying that Rowan was not dead yet. Butler was shocked. How did Nathan know? However, Nathan immediately hugged Blackie and said, "My dog told me." Butler was speechless for a moment. Nathan Chin Mansion has no grudges with you. Please do not make jokes at a time like this. But as he looked up, he found that the person was gone. Nathan had already arrived at the coffin. He was carefully examining Rowan's condition. He unexpectedly found that Rowan was in a state of suspended animation. He finally confirmed that Rowan was not dead yet. Nathan just turned around and said, "I can save Rowan." He saw the servants picking up weapons to hit him. They asked him to stay away from Rowan's body. At this point, Austin stopped them. He asked eagerly, "Nathan, joking aside, is my wife really saved?" "Yes. Please let me give it a try." There was a moment of silence. Austin agreed to let Nathan give it a try. But the surrounding crowd thought Nathan was being reckless. Before long, they saw Nathan take out a scalpel and arrange everything properly. He even put on his mask and gloves. Everyone was wondering where these things came from. The next second, amidst everyone's shock, they saw Nathan take out a huge surgical light from his pocket. Nathan whispered, "Luckily, the system malfunctioned. It left the space for me." He was also grateful that in these 5 years, the system had taught him modern medicine. Seeing Nathan's move, Austin and the servants are sighing that Nathan is really amazing. We need to believe in him. But as soon as they finished speaking, Nathan cut open Rowan's belly. Austin was anxious at this time. Did I make an irreversible decision? Not long after, Nathan called for a midwife to help him. Nathan told the midwife, "I'm prepared for a cesarean section. Take the baby out." The midwife was stunned. Just as she was in a daze, Nathan successfully took the baby out. He asked the midwife to help him cut the umbilical cord. But the midwife was so scared by the scene that she was shivering all over. Finally, with Nathan's encouragement, she successfully cut the umbilical cord. The midwife looked at the motionless baby, wondering if the child was really alive. Next, Nathan instructed the midwife to hold the baby properly. Then, he took out a silver needle and pricked the baby's fontanelle. The next second, the air was filled with the baby's crying. Austin was amazed. "My son is alive." He hurriedly held his own child and excitedly thanked Nathan repeatedly. Everyone exclaimed that Nathan is really amazing. At that moment, Nathan noticed that the servants were covering the coffin boards again. "What are you doing while I'm not paying attention?" "Madam sacrificed herself to give birth to the young master. We really can't bear to see her body exposed like this." Nathan was furious because she isn't dead yet. She has been eviscerated and still not dead. When Nathan stitched up Rowan's stomach, Rowan miraculously cried out in pain. The servants were excited that the madam had actually come back to life. "Now it's fine. Hurry and take your madam back to care for her properly. Honestly, she almost died in your hands." The crowd immediately surrounded Nathan and praised him. This made Nathan feel a bit embarrassed. At this moment, inside a room in the distance, Lingyun Immortal Pavilion's divine maiden Ivy is looking at this scene. She said, "Interesting. At the beginning when he started lifting the coffin, I thought he was just a swindler from the Jianghu. I didn't expect that he actually managed to revive the dead person. Even if there is spirit medicine, it is very difficult to achieve. Interesting. I understand now. This is the reason why you refuse help from Lingyun Immortal Pavilion. The Heavenly Dragon Immortal Dynasty is hiding a big treasure." The princess sitting across immediately became nervous and said, "I don't know him." "Stop it, Your Highness Princess. Stop pretending. Look at his gaze. It's full of affection. It says it all. Come clean. Who exactly is that man? A month ago, you said Chancellor and Imperial Master were more threatening, requesting help from Lingyun Immortal Pavilion. After I arrived, I found that this is not a threat to you at all. This is clearly you playing with the two sons of the Imperial Master and the Chancellor. I boldly guess it was this sage who helped you solve the dilemma, right?" Princess nervously said. "No, it's not." She was interrupted before she could finish her sentence. "It's not nothing. Stop pretending. I've already figured it out." Princess stood up abruptly and interrupted her. "I don't like him at all." After saying that, she quickly slipped away. This confused Ivy a little. "Aren't we talking about Sage's matter? Interesting. I must know. Who exactly is this person? He is just an ordinary mortal. He chose to live alone in a secluded mountain because he was afraid of demons. However, he became the sage in the eyes of all cultivators. No matter if he is an emperor ruling a country, or the sect leader occupying one region, they all come to worship him." Just then Nathan, holding the things Austin gave him, was happily preparing to leave. He was suddenly stopped by Lily's grandmother Ellie. Ellie suddenly knelt down in front of Nathan, begging him to save Lily. It turns out that since Lily was rescued from the leopard demon last time, although her body returned, her soul did not. After Nathan's observation, he found that Lily is suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder. Although he knows what the illness is, Nathan cannot save her, because he didn't study clinical psychology. He had to tell Ellie that he would come to treat Lily as soon as possible if he came up with a solution. At this moment, Nathan felt even more lost. He was ultimately just a useless mortal. If only I were a cultivator too. I will ask Lillian later to see if they have a way. They are cultivators, so they must have a way. At this moment, Nathan was not aware. There was a dark figure following him from behind. When Nathan returned home, the dark figure behind him also revealed its true face. It was Lingyun Immortal Pavilion Divine Maiden Ivy. Just as she was about to probe what kind of extraordinary person Nathan was, Lillian's family of 3 suddenly appeared, giving Ivy quite a scare. After exchanging greetings, Ivy is puzzled. Why would someone at the nascent soul realm suddenly come to this remote mountain? Journey to the West is truly one of the 4 great classical novels, even in the world of cultivation. Journey to the West embodies the principles of Taoism even more so. Speaking of when Ivy and Lillian found out that Nathan wanted to save Lily, Ivy immediately said, "In my Lingyun Immortal Pavilion, we have many medicines for treating spirits." But Lillian immediately said that she is still young and her spirit is too weak to use those medicines. It's better to let her wear the soul-nourishing jade. Wearing it long-term can heal a person's spirit. But the soul-nourishing jade takes time to take effect. It's said she needs to wear it for at least 10 years, or even 20 years. Looking at Ivy Lillian, who had a speechless expression on her face, she continued, "Ivy, your Lingyun Immortal Pavilion is the most powerful. But there are other ways." At this time, Nathan also asked if there are other ways. She stammered and said, "When I was a child, I fainted from a fright. Master used to tell me stories by my bedside to keep me company. But when it comes to solutions, Master was also at a loss and could not come up with any. At this point, the sect leader interjected. Even your master was unable to find a solution. Is the Lingyun Immortal Pavilion only capable of this? Ivy looked forlorn as she fidgeted with her fingers at this moment. At this moment, Nathan suddenly exclaimed excitedly, No! Thanks to you reminding me, Ivy, I've come up with a solution. Only the spirit from the 3 souls and 7 spirits is the most difficult to heal. Nathan truly has a solution. Nathan shyly said, I only know some clumsy mortal methods. But let's give it a try. But when they heard this, they understood it as, the spirit is damaged. They actually use mortal means to repair it. Indeed, they are worthy of being called a sage. Outside the door, the sect leader was facing his wife and daughter, saying, This time we have the opportunity to observe. It is truly a great fortune. As soon as they heard that Nathan was about to go out, they immediately wanted to follow along and travel together. When Nathan and his group arrived at Lily's residence, Ellie stepped forward and said, If you can, please find a way to save Lily quickly. In just half a moment, her condition worsened. They were shocked to see Lily in such a serious condition. Nathan approached Lily gently and said, Lily, I will tell you a story. I hope that after hearing the story, you won't be afraid of the demon, okay? The name of this story is Journey to the West. Blackie listened to this name. I have seen this in the bookcase at home. Nathan spoke slowly. Chaos undivided heaven and earth in disarray. Vast and empty, no one in sight. Since Panga shattered the chaos, distinguishing between clarity and turbidity from then on. Just a few sentences, exclaimed Lillian and the group. This is the ultimate truth of the universe. The 4 of them immediately sat upright on the ground, listening attentively as Nathan narrated. Journey to the West. The 4 of them listened while sobbing with excitement. Is this the law of development for all things, Tao? Nathan was still thinking at this time. If Lily were to think that the demon king Yukong is a mischievous and cute being, she might not be afraid of demons anymore. Suddenly Nathan found that the space below was filled with people at some point. He immediately felt embarrassed. It turned out that everyone liked to listen to stories so much. Nathan cleared his throat twice and got down to business. Stone Monkey rules over the troop of monkeys on Flower Fruit Mountain, living a carefree and happy life. Later, he sailed across the sea on a bamboo raft in pursuit of immortality. He sought apprenticeship to learn the art. After much difficulty, he was finally accepted as a disciple by the Bodhi Patriarch. However, Yukong asked, Will I attain immortality by studying this? These stories sounded in the ears of the 4 of them. It's like the sound of the Tao. They were still puzzled. It was Nathan who was speaking. Is he sharing his own experiences? After a long time, Nathan finally finished telling today's story. Foreseeing the future. Please stay tuned for the next episode. Am I going to make my debut as a storyteller? Am I going to become famous? At this moment, he looked down at Lily in his arms, unsure if this would work for Lily. At this moment, Lily's eyes finally lit up. She called out, Brother Nathan. Great. It's effective. At this time, sect leader still had a look of lingering satisfaction. Nathan, can we continue to listen in tomorrow? They were full of expectations. Nathan is very happy. Of course you can. You can bring a chair tomorrow. It's easy to catch a cold sitting on the ground. 3 people are very excited. Selfless. Great love. He watched as the 3 people flew away on their swords. At this moment, Ivy said with a look of sadness, I have been of no help today. It's my fault for not assisting at all. It's a disgrace to Lingyun Immortal Pavilion. How could it be? Thanks to your reminder today, I just thought of it. Using stories to correct children's perceptions is really a good way to heal the heart. In the future, you can come to my place more often. He is actually thinking that it is definitely right to make friends with Lingyun Immortal Pavilion, which is a very powerful cultivation sect. Ivy said excitedly. Okay, Nathan, I will definitely come back tomorrow to listen to your teachings. After a while, Nathan bid farewell to everyone and prepared to go home. At that moment, he was suddenly stopped by a literati. Originally just an ordinary little carp. Now it has turned into a legendary 5-clawed golden dragon, just because it stayed in the fish pond at Nathan's house for a few months. When Nathan was about to leave, he was stopped by the literati in front of him. Who knew this guy opened his mouth and asked Nathan to teach him how to achieve immortality. Nathan was stunned for a moment after being asked. He awkwardly asked, "Have you read yourself stupid?" Even more awkwardly, he actually replied, "Can you tell? I am indeed not very smart." Nathan is completely speechless. This guy is really stupid. Nathan sighed helplessly. Throughout history, no one who pursued immortality had a good ending. 10 years witnessed the passing of spring and autumn. 100 years witnessed birth, aging, sickness, and death. A few thousand years lament the rise and fall of dynasties. 10,000 years witness the changing of celestial bodies. If mortals use only a day's perspective to glimpse the universe over millions of years, it's no different from trying to catch the moon in a well. Young man, focus on the present and take good care of yourself. I can only say this much for now. He said that, and then quickly turned around and left. Who would have known that this literati, upon hearing about being present and focused, actually excitedly burst into tears? Great wisdom. Nathan, upon hearing his laughter, got frightened and quickly ran away. This person is not someone to mess with. Run as fast as you can. At the foot of the Sword Sect's mountain gate at this moment, a big one and a small one are walking towards the Sword Sect. I only heard the little Taoist asking, "Master, the Sword Sect faced the challenge of the Sword Demon. Presumably, they have been destroyed. Why are we hurrying there? Brooks and I have been fighting secretly for over 100 years as sword cultivators. Now, he has died tragically at the hands of the Sword Demon. Who else will there be besides me to collect his body?" Just at that moment, he unexpectedly saw Brooks, his wife, and child. He was suddenly shocked and exclaimed, "Feigning death!" Brooks, upon hearing this, exclaimed, "Oh, Dylan, how come you're here?" Dylan exclaimed in surprise, "Brooks, how come you're not dead? I was just about to come over to claim your body." Then he seemed to remember something. "Did Sword Demon challenge you and you ran away? Run away yourself and take a look at this." He saw the chi in Brooks' hand. Dylan was shocked. "You have entered the soul projection realm." Brooks immediately said with great excitement, "Surely, the Sword Sect is blessed with profound blessings and divine favor. The Sword Demon was just a small personal trial for me. Dylan, you don't need to envy too much. Everyone has their own destiny." At this time, Dylan clapped his hands together. In learning, there is no distinction between teacher and student. Congratulations to you. Cultivators pursue immortality, but how many can truly achieve it? It seems like you are going to outlive me. Dylan, are you suggesting that your lifespan is coming to an end? I have less than 50 years left in my life. I thought I could help you with your funeral arrangements. I didn't expect that I would be the only one left. Brooks heaved a long sigh at this point. I'll tell you the truth. Help me with my cultivation breakthrough and defeat the Sword Demon. There is someone else. Dylan was shocked. Brooks continued, We have a history of grievances. I can't bear to see you exhaust your last shred of energy. Dylan explained excitedly. Brooks chuckled. Do you have a way? I'll take you to hear a story tomorrow. The next day, Nathan continued telling the story of Journey to the West. There were already a crowd of people around him. At this moment, Nathan noticed two unfamiliar faces. Nathan saw that both of them were sweating profusely. He thought they were feeling unwell, so he handed them a towel to wipe away the sweat. Dylan tremblingly took the towel. He shakily said thank you. I'm fine. The reason they are so afraid is that they discovered that the divine maiden of the Lingyun Immortal Pavilion next to them has turned into an obsessed fan. Who is this clueless young man in front of them? Let's continue to listen to what Nathan has to say. Picking up from where we left off. Patriarch said, "Now that you're here, I'm happy to talk as well. I should impart to you the way of immortality." The three people below lit up with excitement at the mention of the way to immortality. Patriarch said, "The profound and subtle teachings of integrating the visible and hidden paths emphasize nurturing life, as its true essence cannot be explained by others. Everyone should focus on refining their essence, energy, and spirit. Stop energy leakage, conceal it within your body. Through receiving and transmitting teachings, you will flourish and thrive." Three people were greatly surprised. This is the way to immortality. He only spoke a few words casually and revealed it. We couldn't understand a single word. Nathan just finished talking about today's content. Suddenly, it started raining. However, these two old men thought that Nathan's words were following the law, which caused the changes in the world. Nathan saw that it started to rain unexpectedly. He regretted not bringing an umbrella. He shouted, "Why is it raining so heavily all of a sudden? It's so troublesome. Hey, please stop raining quickly." The two old men nearby were startled by this. Meanwhile, at Nathan's home, a five-clawed golden dragon soared into the air from the pond. Blackie and Whitey on the side were frightened. Master's cart flew away. Will he be angry? The rain stopped right after that. The few people on the side were shocked. He even said he wasn't immortal. Now even a pig wouldn't believe he's not immortal. Just then, the literati from yesterday came running over again. He excitedly said, "I have recorded all your stories. With Nathan's permission, I hope to spread this story far and wide." Nathan quickly responded, "Your idea is not bad. Just don't get too close." "Can I have your name to leave for the author?" Nathan responded excitedly, "Absolutely not. I didn't write the book." "Do you know the author's name is Wu Cheng'en?" The literati immediately changed their expression when they heard this. I suddenly understood. Nathan was amazed at my talent, so I went back to compile the material, but before I knew it, he disappeared in the blink of an eye. Nathan couldn't help but be speechless again. The others beside him also showed a sudden realization expression. So that's how it is. Ivy also said at this time, "Right, this signature is really profound. Journey to the West will definitely cause a sensation in the cultivation world." Nathan is not only willing to share this profound wisdom, but also decided to give it a name himself. This means not to receive grace, not to need grace or affection. Nathan couldn't help but be speechless. What are they talking about? This tiger demon is also too miserable. Just because Nathan said a sentence about the taste of eating wild animals together. His Majesty the Demon King was turned into a dish by humans. Just now, when Nathan and the others were saying goodbye and preparing to leave, he said, "Next time come to my place as a guest. Let's hunt some wild meat and cook it together." Brooks was puzzled about the meaning of wild meat. Lillian said, "I have known Nathan the longest. Naturally, I understand what he means." Last time, the leopard demon injured Lily. Nathan turned it into wild meat, which I presume means he's still angry. Nathan holds a grudge against demons. Nathan asked us to send over some wild meat, which is also a hint for us. This story of Tao wisdom shouldn't be taken lightly. We must take action. If Nathan heard these words now, he would probably be greatly wronged. Ivy smiled and said, "This is simple. I will kill a few demons right away and send them to Nathan." Lillian exclaimed excitedly, "I know a place where a tiger demon king at the nascent soul realm resides. Why don't we start with it?" Ivy's eyes sparkled with excitement. "Tiger demon king sounds great. It would be a big gain." Brooks shook his head and sighed. "Young and impulsive. That's a demon king after all." Ivy, however, said disdainfully, "If it can make Nathan happy." No matter how many lowly demon kings there are, we have neatly sent them all over. I didn't expect that the divine maiden of Lingyun Immortal Pavilion would have such a personality. And at this moment, Tiger Mountain, 100 miles away. The Tiger Demon King was lounging comfortably on his throne. At this moment, a little demon exclaimed in fear, "What is that on your head?" Only to see a big danger character suddenly appearing on his head. The next day, Nathan, who was drying clothes at home, heard a knocking on the door. He opened the door and saw two people. In front of the two people, there were unexpectedly 3 giant wild beasts. A small token of affection, not a sign of respect. We didn't play much, but it's all fresh. Looking at wild meat Nathan in front of me, I think if this were in the previous life, he would have been in jail for a long time. But the next second, he is all excited. Reborn is really good. He immediately dragged the wild meat into the house. Let the two of them sit down first. He then went to prepare the ingredients. Nathan happily bounced around in the kitchen. How to do it well. The cultivator unexpectedly brought so many good things. I have to entertain them well too. He soon figured it out. Yes, let's have hot pot for the meat. He made tiger meat rolls and lion meat rolls in no time. There's also a split hot pot base. When everyone sees this hot pot and the sizzling dishes, they are once again shocked beyond belief. Why is this meat in this shape? What is this? It looks so cute. This pot has the pattern of Tai Chi. This is clearly the way of yin and yang. Dylan also said seriously at this time. I never thought that this pot intended to harmonize yin and yang, the chaos of Tai Chi. So it is said. Clear soup and spicy hot. Both meat and vegetarian ingredients. Enjoy the essence of its taste. Further refine them in the abdomen. Then refine them through the essence of the stomach. Finally, discharge them out of the body. They can then nourish all things on the earth. It goes on and on, life continues without end. I have learned. Nathan, on the other hand, looked completely confused. Just a pot. These cultivators are really interesting. Nathan busily welcomed everyone to eat quickly. But they had no idea where to start. Totally clueless about how to eat. Nathan immediately demonstrated to them how to eat hot pot. He picked up a piece of meat with his chopsticks. He put the meat into the pot. Wait for the meat to cook, dip it in some sauce, and then eat it. The two of them took a bite. They were immediately conquered by the taste. Brooks watched as the two people gobbled up the food hungrily. The girl is not too reserved. The elderly have trouble digesting too much meat. I'll try some vegetables. But he glanced at the vegetables on his plate. He was immediately shocked. There was a Taoist aura in these vegetables. Nathan said at this time, "These vegetables are all very fresh. They were all grown by myself." Brooks suddenly realized after hearing this. So that's how it is. Since they were grown by Nathan, it's no wonder they have a Taoist aura. At this moment, Brooks signaled to Dylan. Dylan, eat more. Vegetables are good for your health. It might help you live longer. Dylan immediately understood his meaning. He started eating right away. And at this moment, in a remote part of the deep mountains, 2 fox demons were leisurely walking. One of them was a 6-tailed fox, while the other was actually a 9-tailed fox. Just listen to the 6-tailed fox saying, "Sister, please don't shape transformation, okay? Shape transformation is very dangerous. It involves experiencing heavenly tribulation and several heavenly thunders. If we are not careful, we will scatter our souls." Listening to the incessant chatter of the 6-tailed fox and 9-tailed fox nearby, I am speechless. Can't you say something auspicious? Because if you successfully undergo shape transformation, you will become very weak. Cultivators within dozens of miles will all know it and come to take your demon core. At this point, the 9-tailed fox tapped the 6-tailed fox on the head. Even if I successfully undergo shape transformation and am barely alive, don't I still have you to protect me? You must protect me. Seeing the opportunity, the 9-tailed fox immediately leaped into the distance. I know the dangers of shape transformation, but this shape is imperative. Humans and demons are on different paths. Only by transforming into human form can I be by his side and serve him, repaying him for saving my life. At this moment, a massive bolt of lightning struck down from the sky. Nathan, who was chopping wood at the time, couldn't help but feel frustrated. Why does it have to rain every time? Nathan, who was running. He suddenly saw a huge lightning strike behind him. This really scared him. He quickly hid in a cave, trembling with fear. How could there be such thunder in the world? Is it the end of the world? Suddenly Nathan discovered. It seems like all the thunder is striking in one place. Several cultivators in the distance saw the 9 heavenly thunders and the 1,000-year fox demon-shaped transformation. This is truly a stroke of luck falling from the sky. If I can obtain its demon core, breaking through in cultivation will be a piece of cake. Nathan just lamented that his firewood was soaked by the rain. As a result, he saw a naked young woman. He stood still for several seconds. Only then did Nathan react. He immediately covered his nose with both hands. He was excited in his heart. Beauty. Immediately, he closed his eyes, turned red, and muttered, "Disaster for the country and the people. Why aren't you wearing clothes?" The girl was excited at this moment. "I'm so lucky to meet my benefactor again after undergoing shape transformation. It turns out that this girl is the 9-tailed fox from before. 3 years ago, when she was still a 7-tailed fox, she met a cultivator and was seriously injured. She was fortunately rescued by her benefactor. Not only did she recover from her injuries in just 3 years, but she also grew 9 tails. Thank the heavens for letting my shape transformation succeed and allowing me to meet my benefactor again." At this point, Nathan was seen taking off his own clothes. The girl nervously asked, "What are you going to do?" She didn't finish her sentence. She then saw Nathan draping his coat over the girl. And then she heard Nathan say, "Don't worry, I'm not a bad person. You'll be fine. You're weak. I'll take you for treatment." After saying that, he gestured for the girl to lie on top of him. Nathan carried her on his back and walked. The 6-tailed fox hiding on the side was filled with anger. Despicable humans. Although Sister successfully went through the heavenly tribulation vital pulse, she was scattered. She is only holding on by a thread of life. She won't survive another month. If it weren't for this man, my sister wouldn't have chosen shape transformation, and she wouldn't have died. When my sister passed away, I must personally send this man down to accompany her in death. At this moment, cultivators within a radius of hundreds of miles have all become aware of the demon's shape-shifting ability and are rushing over. Meanwhile, Princess from the Immortal Dynasty is looking in the direction of the heavenly thunder. She murmured, "That's the direction where Nathan is. What is this demon trying to achieve by giving up its 1,000-year cultivation in shape transformation? You must know how precious its demon core is. It will surely attract countless people fighting over it. What should we do if they cause too much trouble and disturb Nathan's rest? Wouldn't it be terrible if he couldn't sleep well and his health suffered from being disturbed too much?" Empress on the side remained speechless. "Are you worried about this?" Princess was shocked. "I must not let this happen. The person who arrived is my own father Emperor ever since you told me about Sage's deeds. I feel that Sage chose to settle in my heavenly dragon immortal dynasty. This is an honor for our immortal dynasty. If he is offended by anyone, it may be due to our inadequate hospitality. If he leaves because he is disturbed by someone, the loss would be significant." The mother and daughter both nodded repeatedly in agreement. Emperor then asked his daughter to lead the way to Nathan's place. "If anyone disturbs Sage's peace, we will take care of it on the spot." They are currently not far from Nathan's residence. 2 old men are sitting in a dragon-shaped position. They hear Brooks say, "Dylan, congratulations on your cultivation breakthrough to soul projection. You become nearly immortal again, thanks to Sage's cooking. But Brooks, we are even now. It's just that you had a cultivation breakthrough, and you came to Nathan's place to guard the door. You look very leisurely." Of course, I'm not trying to monopolize the opportunity. I'm just worried that Sage's peaceful cultivation might be disturbed by flies. We have a similar view. It is indeed a bit noisy here. How about we compare notes? Let's see who can drive away the flies better. Let's compare in more detail. And then I saw countless people in the distance being blown away one after another. And at this time, Nathan brought the girl with the nine-tailed fox-shaped transformation back home and placed her on the bed. Don't worry, it is very secluded and safe here. As soon as he finished speaking, there was a deafening sound of rumbling. It's okay. Maybe the thunder from before hasn't finished yet. It is very quiet and safe here. The girl nodded repeatedly with a smile. Nathan continued, You are severely injured and in critical condition. Let me treat you, okay? Listen to me. You need to rest for a while. If you have nowhere else to go, stay with me for now. What do you think? The girl couldn't help but blush a little and said, I'll listen to you. What's your name? I'll go along with whatever you say. Nathan was speechless for a moment. She couldn't possibly follow me in this. Don't you have a name? The girl hesitated, saying, No, I can't. Nathan suddenly realized at this moment. Could it be? She is a maid from a wealthy family. She was born without human rights, she has suffered hardships, and she doesn't even have a name. She managed to escape after much difficulty. She is homeless, and was robbed and seriously injured. Thinking about this, Nathan couldn't help but feel sorry for her. Nathan also thought, If I save her today, wouldn't I become her savior? According to the plot development, if I treat her well, she might repay me by offering herself to me. Then we could naturally start living together. At the thought of this, Nathan immediately said softly to the girl, Don't be afraid. No matter what pain you've experienced in the past, it's over. From today on, I will take care of you. If you don't have a name, I'll call you Nova, okay? The girl, upon realizing that her benefactor had chosen a name for her, was overwhelmed with excitement. She tried to contain her excitement and shyly said, I'll listen to benefactor. Then she was about to gather her courage to say something. She saw that Nathan had already walked to the door and said, Then I'll go and prepare the medicine first. Outside, Nathan was full of excitement and anticipation. This was his first time being alone in a room with a woman. We talked so closely together. After a while, he calmed down. He happily went to decoct the medicine. However, the girl inside the house sensed what Nathan was doing outside. She couldn't help but laugh softly. Then she repeated her name with a happy expression on her face. Can you imagine the majestic and overbearing dragon in front of you? It just glanced at Nathan. It scared Jim back into hiding. It also set off a firework to please Nathan. The immortal emperor on the side was also stunned. You are the treasure of my majestic immortal dynasty that guards the country. Can you have some dignity? Speaking of which, the three of them were happy intercepting some of the idle people for Nathan. Suddenly a voice came. Ivy, who are you guys referring to as irrelevant people? The three people looked towards the voice and were immediately shocked. It turned out to be Emperor in person. The three of them quickly bowed and greeted the Emperor. Although the Emperor is not very knowledgeable, he has pure royal blood after all. He is originally at the top of the heavenly dragon immortal dynasty. I didn't expect him to personally come here from the palace. The Emperor even rolled his eyes suspiciously. When did reaching the soul projection realm become so easy? Princess obviously noticed her father Emperor's doubts. They must have received help from Nathan. Brooks immediately said, That's right. Nathan helped me eradicate the sword demon of the sword sect. Dylan also smiled and said, Nathan gave me a hot pot, helping me extend my originally frail life with a cultivation breakthrough. Ivy, on the other hand, looked shy as she said, Nathan imparted the Tao wisdom from the journey to the west, which I had the privilege to hear. It was extremely beneficial. The Emperor, upon hearing this, expressed his genuine admiration. He could not express it himself, and could only cry alone. At this moment, the Emperor said, Let's go visit Nathan, and see if there are any other ways he can help us. When the group arrived at Nathan's residence, Emperor saw the jade he gave to his daughter hanging at the door at a glance. Brooks and Dylan stared at the jade with great interest. This is the Phoenix Jade you gave to Emperor, right? It seems that Nathan has recarved it. No wonder last time a phoenix flew out from inside. This ordinary stone has turned into a magical object. Emperor was suddenly upset. I guess Sage must have thought that this jade was too low-end. No wonder nothing good has happened to us since then. I have been despised by Sage. I have to make amends. Nathan heard the noise outside the door and opened it to take a look. How come you all came together? It's really lively. The Emperor saw that the sage had come out and immediately bowed to pay his respects. When he learned that this was the current ruler of the Heavenly Dragon Immortal Dynasty, Nathan was greatly astonished. Isn't that the national leader? He hurriedly bowed and paid his respects. At this moment, Nathan said, I happen to have something to consult with you for help. Everyone wouldn't miss this opportunity for flattery, and they all promised to do their best to help. Just then, Nathan said, Just now, lightning struck a girl. I want to ask you guys to see if you can help. How can we save this girl? As soon as everyone saw Nova, they were shocked to see that she was the demon of shape transformation. Nova immediately shrank into the corner as soon as he saw it. They are here to catch me, Nathan asked in confusion. Are you trying to catch her? This almost scared them silly. If this is misunderstood by Sage, we are here to catch the shape transformation demon. Several people immediately looked righteous. We are all good people. Nathan quickly stepped forward and whispered quietly. Whose servant girl is this girl, who has suffered so much? She finally managed to escape. She mistook you for bad people coming to take her back. Everyone nodded in agreement. Nathan, whatever you say is what it is. Nathan also turned back and made a gesture to Nova. Nova felt shy as soon as she saw Nathan. Let's listen to Benefactor. She was unfortunately struck by lightning and is now seriously injured. If you could help to see if there is any way to treat her, it would be a great help. However, in their worldview, being struck by heavenly thunder means that life has already come to an end. She is now like a withered tree, powerless to return to the heavens. Ivy was about to say that they were also powerless. However, they then heard Nathan say seriously, If it's solely up to me, it will take some effort and time. And then, in Ivy's shock, Nathan fed Nova the medicine. They immediately saw golden light radiating from Nova's body. Ivy's face immediately blushed with peach blossoms. This is the heavenly thunder. This is tantamount to snatching people from the hands of the heavens. What exactly is Nathan's existence? And Nathan sees Nova shining, still naively thinking. Originally, the beautiful girl is taking medication. That's why she shines. Ivy immediately flattered, saying, Nathan, we have many spirit medicines in our Lingyun Immortal Pavilion that should help with Nova's injuries. The two old men wouldn't let Ivy flatter alone, even mentioning that their own sect also has spirit medicine. The Emperor was not calm at this time either. Nathan, I will return to the palace to get the medicine for you now. But please accept this first. Thank you for your advice and guidance. You have solved the dilemma of the Heavenly Dragon Immortal Dynasty. Who would have thought that the Emperor, in order to restore his image, actually gave away the national treasures? Nathan suddenly felt embarrassed. You are all too polite. I feel embarrassed now. Although he said that, he did not feel a bit embarrassed at all. He directly opened the box given to him by the Emperor. However, the moment he opened the box, a golden dragon unexpectedly flew out of the box. The golden dragon spoke in human language. What summons me? Others were shocked that this was not the national treasure dragon of the Heavenly Dragon Immortal Dynasty. But this golden dragon is less handsome than Nathan. He suddenly dodged into Gem and dared not come out again. Emperor also didn't know how many times he had changed his mind. Our majestic Heavenly Dragon Immortal Dynasty's national treasure dragon actually hid away. However, Nathan completely disregarded the astonishment of others. Instead, he exclaimed excitedly. Did it just breathe fire? It happened so fast, I didn't see clearly. Emperor quickly approached and enthusiastically added, Indeed, indeed. It can breathe fire. Nathan's face lit up with excitement. He said to Jim, Try breathing fire again to see. Unexpectedly, the golden dragon set off fireworks. Nathan is as happy as a child. Last time it was a light bulb, this time it's a lighter. You cultivators have so many fun little things. Then he looks thoughtful and says, I can't always be taken care of by you all. Next time, I must also repay you properly. This suddenly excited everyone to tears. Several people couldn't stay any longer. They immediately said, Let's go back and prepare the spirit medicine. The next second, they all flew away in unison. Speaking of Ivy's return to the sect, she immediately asked Elder to bring all the spirit medicine in the sect. Elder was shocked. It will take several months to transport all of them here. Ivy also thought about it. Just bring the highest quality medicine over. Upon hearing this, Elder felt so heartbroken that he spat out a mouthful of blood. And at Nathan's house at this moment, Nathan is showing Nova around their garden. First, he introduced Blackie and Whitey to Nova. Whitey immediately said, I have met Female Master. Please greet Female Master. This made Nathan blush. But he didn't notice that Nova behind him was questioning life at the moment. Is it normal to have a divine dog and an artifact spirit at home, with spiritual herbs everywhere in the yard? I originally wanted to use shape transformation to repay him. Bless him with children and grandchildren, ensuring his lifelong safety. Can you see this situation? How can this still be considered repaying kindness? Clearly, it has turned into groveling. Looking at the benefactor talking to Whitey and Blackie in front of me, such a divine figure. Could he possibly take an interest in me? Nova immediately said uneasily, Can I really live here? Of course, you can stay if you don't mind. This will be your home in the future. She promised to take good care of Nathan. You don't have to serve anyone in the future. We treat each other equally. But Nova couldn't convince herself of this. Nathan felt extremely sad at the words. Such a pitiful girl, a sacrificial lamb of the feudal society. He grabbed Nova's hand. Don't worry, you can do it. I can teach you everything. So he took Nova to a chessboard. Let's start with playing chess. Nova looked puzzled. What is this? Nathan proudly said. This is a board game. Whoever sits on either side of the chessboard is equal. Emperor and beggar play chess. Teacher and student play chess. All social classes will disappear on this chessboard. Can you please explain a bit more? Nova still doesn't understand. Playing games is the best way to build relationships, Nathan said, and then demonstrated to Nova. Just saw Nathan place a black piece on the chessboard. However, in Nova's eyes, what was seen was the way of black and white yin and yang. Nova suddenly realized. It was Nova being too foolish. Unable to resist the heavenly tribulation during shape transformation, Nathan only borrowed a game of chess. He then explained the principles of the Tao to Nova. Nathan truly helped Nova selflessly. Nathan soon excitedly said, Look! These 5 black pieces are connected in a line like this. Black wins. When Nathan looked up at Nova, he was surprised to see that Nova was crying. Nathan anxiously said, Why are you crying? Suddenly Nova knelt down with a thud. I am forever grateful for Benefactor's great kindness. I am willing to serve Benefactor well for the rest of my life. I am willing to be an ox or a horse to do anything, Nova said. Nathan was shocked. Be an ox or a horse, do anything. Nathan almost couldn't control himself. He immediately exclaimed excitedly, Although my values still believe that equality is better for us, if you insist, then it's okay to do it this way for now. And at this moment, Blackie and Whitey on the side were both speechless. Listen to what Master is saying. Is that even human language? Nathan is excited and about to go out to pick some wild vegetables to make dumplings for Nova to eat. But as soon as he stepped out, he saw that Literati was actually sitting at his own doorstep. When Literati saw Nathan, he almost instantly teleported in front of Nathan to greet him. "What are you daydreaming about here? I was attracted by the couplet at your door. I didn't expect to disturb you." Nathan felt embarrassed when he saw the couplet and said, "I wrote it carelessly. Please don't take it seriously." Little did Nathan know, the literati looked very excited. "No, Nathan, I had a question that I couldn't figure out no matter how much I thought about it. That's why I came to seek advice." "I didn't expect that before we even met." Nathan had already written the answer on the door. "I have learned something." Seeing literati talk non-stop, Nathan quietly retreated back home. He closed the door tightly. Out of sight, out of mind. Literati obviously is no stranger to such things. He continued to sit back down on the rock. At this point, the Emperor has collected all the spirit medicine in the entire immortal dynasty, and is flying to Nathan to prepare to send the first one over. At this moment, he saw two sources of demonic energy appearing near Nathan. The Emperor was greatly alarmed. These sources of demonic energy are at the level of two demon kings, likely coming for the core of the shape transformation demon. It would be disastrous if they disturbed the sage. He no longer hesitated, immediately accelerating and flying over with all his might. At this moment, a bull demon and a wolf demon arrived at Nathan's doorstep. Sensing Nova's aura right in this courtyard, they were filled with excitement as they could finally obtain the demon core. They brushed past the literati, who were sitting on a stone. The two demons were stunned. "Why is there a person sitting there?" 6 pairs of eyes met. They confirmed that they were looking for the same person. They immediately turned around and continued walking towards the courtyard. And at this moment, they heard literati say coldly, "Stop right there. This is not where you should be. Turn back and leave." 2 demons were taken aback. How dare a mortal stop them? Without saying a word, they emitted a laser beam. However, before reaching the literati, the laser beam dissipated. The 2 demons saw the literati standing still. They even thought he was scared silly. They turned around and continued walking towards the courtyard. The literati sighed at this moment. He walked directly up to the 2 demons. "Nathan's holy land. How dare you 2 filthy demons defile it?" The wolf demon launched a direct attack towards the literati. However, he was unable to harm the literati in the slightest. How is this possible? What goes around, comes around. As soon as the literati's words fell, the sky suddenly lit up with countless lightning bolts. The 2 demons are now in a panic, begging for mercy repeatedly. But it's too late. Just as they saw a huge thunderbolt directly engulfing the 2 demons. When the thunderbolt dissipated, the 2 demons were both reverted to their original forms. It is not easy for animals to become demons through cultivation. Unfortunately, you have taken the wrong path. Start over from scratch. With that, he glanced at Nathan's residence, turned around, and left. He turned around and left. This is a top-grade spirit medicine that has shocked the cultivation world. However, it has arrived at Nathan's place. Its only purpose is to glow and be used as decoration. Just because of his vegetable garden. Even the most ordinary watermelon. It's at the spirit medicine level. Speaking of which, when the Emperor and his daughter arrived at Nathan's door, they were shocked by the scene of the literati instantly killing the demon. The literati asked when they saw the 2 people, "Are you guests of Nathan?" The 2 people quickly bowed to the literati. The literati exclaimed with envy, "How envious I am of you, to be Nathan's honored guest. He has never invited me in. Perhaps because I am too foolish. You must cherish it." With that, he was about to leave. At this moment, Princess suddenly asked, "May I ask, where are you going?" "I am planning to follow the path of journey to the west and head west. I want to contemplate the world as I spread the path of journey to the west along the way." Princess transformed into a curious baby. "Why aren't you wearing shoes on this long journey?" "Only by having my feet touch the ground can I better integrate with the earth and the sky." The Emperor spoke as he watched the background of the departing literati. "Perhaps he is different from us. He cultivates not immortality, but rather Taoism. When the two of them arrived at Nathan's house, they told Nathan about seeing the literati at the door. Nathan couldn't help but say, "He actually sat at the door for a whole day? What a bookworm." He kept asking me how to achieve immortality. I have explained it very clearly. But why can't he understand it? Nathan's casual remark left the two of them stunned. So literati learned the way of immortality from Nathan. No wonder he is so powerful. Just as Nathan felt amazed looking at the storage bracelet in his hand, Divine Maiden Ivy also arrived. When she saw the spatial jade bracelet in Nathan's hand, she was so shocked that her jaw almost dropped. Heavenly Dragon Immortal Dynasty brought over their underwear. Luckily, I also brought the most precious herbs from Lingyun Immortal Pavilion. Just saw Ivy casting a spell. Countless spirit medicines suddenly appeared. The Emperor and his daughter were so dazzled by this golden light that they couldn't even open their eyes. They were shocked that this was actually the finest spirit medicine. Ivy coughed up blood and said, "In the world, there are only a few who possess the ability to produce these 16 plants at once." The Emperor and his daughter were speechless. At this moment, you cannot help but feel heartbroken to the point of coughing up blood. Nathan looked excitedly at the spirit medicine floating in the air. Wow, it's like an item in a game. So beautiful. His words had just fallen when Brooks and Dylan also emerged. Just saw Dylan take out a box. "I brought a seed. It is from my patriarch's journey in an ancient secret realm. Luckily obtained. Your patriarch must have lived for at least 1,000 years. What kind of seed can survive for so long?" Dylan shook his head and said he didn't know. "I only know that when I was a child, I found that it was tough and impervious to swords, water, and fire." Nathan looked at the seeds in his hand. "It's really interesting. It is indeed still alive, although it appears to be in a state of false death. I am also a person whose system account is named Divine Farmer. I wonder what kind of thing this produces." "Oh, I see. You brought so many treasures with you. I have also prepared some insignificant gifts for you." With that, he ran towards the backyard. Upon hearing about the return gifts, the four of them, they were full of anticipation and excitement on their faces. Nathan soon came over carrying a few bags. The tea tree in the backyard has matured. Although it's not something valuable, I planted it myself. At least it's fresh and healthy. The four people excitedly took the tea leaves. The next second, they guarded the tea leaves in their arms, like guarding against thieves. They flew away in an instant. Nathan was amazed. "Cultivators can fly so fast!" Just like airplanes, they are really powerful. Nova, hearing this, asked confusedly, "What is that?" Nathan laughed and said, "You don't know about this." Then he continued, "I have picked out the medicinal herbs that can help with your injuries. The rest I plan to plant in the backyard. These medicines are shining brightly. They will surely make a beautiful decoration." Nova was stunned when mentioned planting a spirit medicine as a decoration. When Nova saw these spirit medicines in front of her, she got excited and said, "These are all top-quality spirit medicines. The growth and decline of such spirit medicines are all in the hands of fate. If the planting method is wrong, these spirit medicines will be ruined." At this moment, Nathan looked proud and said, "You underestimate me. Don't judge me by my appearance. I have been living here for 5 years. The vegetables I eat are all grown by myself, including potatoes and Chinese cabbage." Nova heard this and burst into tears anxiously. How can Chinese cabbage and potatoes be compared to spiritual herbs? At this moment, Nathan said, "I will take you to the vegetable garden to have a look." Little did Nova know, as soon as he stepped into the doorway, he was nearly blown away by a burst of Taoist aura. Nova covered his almost overwhelmed little heart, puzzled by what he experienced, the Taoist aura. Just as Nova was still shocked, Nathan grabbed Nova's hand and led her inside. But when she saw the vegetables growing in the garden, she realized how ignorant she had been before. At the moment, as Nova was watching the spirit medicine level potatoes, There was some commotion in the water nearby, catching her attention, and she saw a huge elephant tortoise leaping high into the air. Nova looked shocked, and Nathan was incredibly proud. "This is the elephant tortoise. The fishmonger gave it to me as a gift. I call it Old Turtle. When it first arrived, it was just the size of my palm. In less than a month, it has grown this big." At this moment, Nova couldn't say a word. He couldn't believe that he had doubted Nathan's ability to cultivate spirit medicine successfully before. "My horizons are indeed too narrow. I have no right to question Nathan. I must remember this in the future. His ideas are absolutely correct." In the sky not far from Nathan's residence, there is a floating colorful cloud. The person is Divine Maiden Madison from Lincian Tao Palace. A young girl next to her asked, "Madison, do we also need to catch the nine-tailed fox demon?" "No, I heard that you only need to drink a bit of nine-tailed fox's blood to cleanse your essence and marrow, and shed your mortal body." Thousands of years ago, nine-tailed fox had never appeared. Everyone speculated that this precious bloodline had already become extinct. Now that it has suddenly reappeared and even manifested, it will surely be coveted by greedy individuals. If our Lincian Tao Palace does not take action to protect it, who else will be able to protect it? The young girl immediately had an expression of instant understanding. It can only receive the best protection at our Lincian Tao Palace. Only we at Lincian Tao Palace have the ability to protect it. The magnificent immortal dynasty emperor. He was surprised that the empress took out her own tea leaves to serve the guests. The empress was scolded as a wasteful woman by him, while the guests simply wanted to ask him for some tea leaves. He was quickly ushered out of the door. What tea leaves are so precious that they are treasured by an emperor? Lincian Tao Palace's Divine Maiden Madison came to visit the emperor specifically to capture the nine-tailed fox. After exchanging greetings, the two of them bowed to each other. Madison directly stated that she came for the nine-tailed fox. The emperor secretly thought that she had indeed come for this. He had no choice but to first invite her to sit down. They chatted while drinking tea. On the other side, Empress went to the treasure room to find tea leaves to entertain the distinguished guests. Just as she found the tea leaves and was about to leave, she was drawn to a package in the corner. She opened it to take a look. It turned out to be tea leaves she had never seen before. Looking at the tea leaves in her hand, then looking at the tea leaves before, the Empress instantly understood. At this time, inside the palace reception room, the Emperor asked directly, "Madison, what are you pursuing the nine-tailed fox for?" The nine-tailed fox is the creature closest to immortality in the world. It is also the most likely to cultivate into an immortal. We want to invite her to join the Lincian Tao Palace and spare no effort in nurturing her to become immortal. Madison continued, looking at the Emperor's reaction. "Emperor, rest assured. We have no ill intentions towards her. There are just some circumstances, as you are aware." "What do you mean?" "Not bad. I wonder when. The path of immortal and mortal is cut off. Even we have not had anyone achieve immortal for a long time. The appearance of this nine-tailed fox is crucial for us. If we could restart the path of immortal and mortal, it would be a blessing for cultivators all over the world." The Emperor, upon hearing these words, thought that he used to think the same way. "But I once encountered a being even more powerful than an immortal." The nine-tailed fox was right beside him. "I tell you, are you daring enough to ask him for it?" Lincian Tao Palace still can't compare with Nathan. Just thinking about this, the Emperor couldn't help but lose his composure and chuckled secretly. Madison became furious as soon as she saw the Emperor's appearance. "Please take it seriously, Emperor." Two subordinates of the Silver Moon Demon King went missing during the search for the nine-tailed fox. He is now increasing manpower to search intensively. If they find the nine-tailed fox first, and it swallows his demon core, not only will the nine-tailed fox disappear from the world, but even the Silver Moon Demon King will be unable to deal with the Emperor. Just as he was about to say something, at this moment, the Empress brought the tea over. The Emperor smiled and said, "This tea is not commonly seen. Today is a special opportunity. I would also like to invite the young lady to taste and appreciate it. Madison initially didn't pay much attention to this tea. What good things could your heavenly dragon immortal dynasty have? But when she picked up the teacup and took a look, she immediately praised it as indeed good tea. The emperor saw even Madison praised it as not bad. He couldn't help but feel proud. But when he picked up the teacup, he found that it was not tea from his collection. The next second, he realized that this was the tea that Nathan had given him. You know, the most important thing in cultivation is not chi or talent, but the enlightenment of the Tao. Madison looked at the tea in her hand and couldn't help but exclaim, "What kind of tea is this?" "A cup of tea. It's an opportunity for enlightenment of the Tao. Even compared to the best tea from my Lincian Tao Palace, it pales in comparison." She was just about to ask the emperor what kind of tea this is. She then noticed that the emperor's face turned very angry. He trembled as he asked his wife where she had found the tea leaves. The empress chuckled and said she had found it herself in a corner. The emperor listened and confirmed. He immediately cursed, "You spendthrift woman! This is my lifeline." And at this moment, Madison thought that emperor was deliberately flattering himself, so he specially presented the top-quality enlightenment of the Tao tea from Lincian Tao Palace. She also planned to ask him for some to take back with her. The emperor could no longer suppress his anger at this point. "You have drunk my lifeblood and still want to continue taking things in exchange." He immediately kicked Madison out. Now the two of them looked bewildered. The cunning Madison, however, remained completely calm. There must be a huge secret hidden here. The young girl couldn't help but feel a little confused. The emperor just mentioned that Nathan gifted precious tea leaves to Nathan. She immediately ordered to send out Lincian Tao Palace's informant. "Find this Nathan for me. Madison hopes you will think twice." At this moment, Princess appeared behind Madison unknowingly. She said, "I know what Madison is going to do. You must accomplish it no matter what. Since you already know about Nathan's existence, it's only a matter of time before you investigate it." Only, since Madison has tasted the tea leaves, she can probably guess a little. This Nathan is not an ordinary person. If you act rashly, not to mention the heavenly dragon immortal dynasty being in danger, the Lincian Tao Palace may also face a catastrophe. Seeing Madison's incredulous look, Princess continued saying, "To be honest, the nine-tailed fox has also been saved by him from the heavenly tribulation. Madison doesn't need to worry too much." Madison was greatly surprised. How could it be possible to save someone from the heavenly tribulation? What realm is this great person from? Could it be an immortal? He is not an immortal, but is above immortal. The scene changed. Princess brought Madison to the market. "Why did you bring me here?" "Madison, don't be angry. Nathan doesn't like being disturbed. It's not convenient for me to take you to visit. But there is someone else. You will understand once you see him." Madison was puzzled. Who is this other person? Book boy Nathan's book boy. Speaking of which, Madison was taken to a tea house by Princess. They were listening to literati talking about Journey to the West at that time. The image of Yukon creating havoc in the heavenly palace couldn't help but appear in her mind. She couldn't help but wonder if this was the world of immortals. 100,000 heavenly soldiers, 100,000 immortals, our predecessors who have become immortals. Perhaps they are just one of the 100,000 heavenly soldiers. I consider myself superior. However, in the eyes of the immortals, am I not just an ant? The next second, her expression changed instantly. Even a book boy has such insight. What kind of being must Nathan be? After it ended, Madison found literati. "May I ask boldly, why did the path of immortal and mortal come to an end? Is there still a possibility for us to become immortal in this lifetime, if we cultivate diligently?" The literati fell silent for a moment. "Do you see? Do you think these mortals, who work from sunrise to sunset, have the chance to become immortals?" Madison understood it at once. Is it about qualification? Yes, it is about qualification. Heaven and earth, There are rules of their own in heaven and earth. Who are the immortals? Only those people who establish the rules decide. How can mortals understand? But there is a story that records all the wisdom of Tao. Nathan's journey to the West. If you listen to the story completely, you will gain some insights. Madison became even more fascinated with Nathan after a few words. At night, Nova walks alone. At this moment, a white-haired unidentified object suddenly rushed towards Nova, who turned out to be Nova's younger sister, Six-Tailed Fox. Upon meeting, Six-Tailed Fox immediately started to pick on Nova. "Sister, has that human been bullying you? Are you feeling better now? Is the human's bed more uncomfortable than sleeping in a cave? Are you getting used to it?" Nova busily replied with a smile. "Master treats me well. You don't have to worry." This statement left Six-Tailed Fox speechless for a moment. "Master." Six-Tailed Fox got angry all of a sudden. "Sister, weren't you supposed to marry over there to repay kindness? You are not a wife. Being a concubine is better than being a pet, right? Nathan is above a mortal. He's been extremely kind to me. It's the greatest blessing of my life to acknowledge him as my master," she said with a face full of happiness. Seeing my sister like this, Six-Tailed Fox secretly exclaimed, "Nova has already been successfully trained." At this moment, Nova suddenly said, "I brought you a good thing." Six-Tailed Fox's eyes turned into crescent moons upon hearing, "A good thing." But when she saw that the so-called good thing was actually just an apple, she suddenly collapsed. What fox would like to eat apples? This is no ordinary apple. You'll know once you take a bite. The little fox had a helpless expression and had to take a bite of the apple. The next second, she suddenly emitted a golden glow all over her body and floated into the air. She exclaimed excitedly, "Is this the spiritual apple? Why does it contain such powerful spiritual energy?" Nathan, who was at home at the time, also saw the vision here. After a while, Nova patted the head of the Six-Tailed Fox. "Okay, let's eat and go quickly." So the Six-Tailed Fox quickly ran away in a puff of smoke. At this moment, a dark figure suddenly appeared behind Nova. Nova was greatly surprised. She turned around and saw that the person was actually Nathan. Nathan looked puzzled and asked, "Who were you just talking to?" Suddenly, Nova became nervous. "I'm sorry. I took the apple you gave me and fed it to my younger sister without permission." Nathan was stunned. "Your younger sister?" Nova immediately explained. "She is a little fox with 6 tails. Although silly, but she is very well behaved and kind. She never bites." Nathan was stunned again. "Fox?" Nathan immediately reprimanded, "How can you feed apples to a fox? Foxes are carnivores. Next time, remember to bring some meat for her." At that moment, he suddenly remembered something. "A few years ago, I also saved a little fox with several tails. Is it possible that she and your sister are the same one? It is said that foxes are intelligent creatures. Maybe she has come to repay a debt to me. She might transform into a beautiful young girl to serve me, or something." After saying that, he awkwardly patted his head and said, "I'm just joking." However, in Nova's eyes, he thought that Nathan had already seen through his true identity. This statement and behavior were probably meant as a hint to let the Six-Tailed Fox also transform into a human form. Let her come and serve him together. Just thinking about it made Nova happy all of a sudden. The Six-Tailed Fox is in for a great blessing. The next day, Madison was staring at a certain place, lost in thought. Princess walked over and advised, "Now that you know Nathan is unfathomable, let go of this matter concerning the 9-tailed fox." Little did Princess know that Madison became even more fascinated with Nathan after listening to what Literati said about Journey to the West yesterday. She quickly asked her to take her to see Nathan, leaving Princess feeling disheartened. Did this have the opposite effect? Half an hour later, the two of them arrived at Nathan's doorstep. Madison has turned into a fan at this moment. How simple and ordinary the little courtyard is. And at this moment, Nathan and Nova are playing chess in the backyard. But Nova has a worried look on her face. She was just about to place the piece there. Nathan roared. She was about to place the piece here again. Nathan was furious again, saying that it was not allowed here either. This really upset Nova. Even the dog shook its head at the scene. He deserves to be single forever. Just then, a knocking sound came from outside the door. Opening the door, it turned out to be Princess and Madison. Nathan saw Madison as she cosplaying. He awkwardly commented that the girl's outfit is quite extravagant. Seeing the two of them, Nathan was extremely happy. He even said, "I was actually looking forward to your visit." The two immediately bowed deeply. "Nathan, what are your orders? Please speak freely." This startled Nathan. He scratched his head and said, "There has been a small trouble recently. I want to see if you can help." Upon hearing this, the two of them unexpectedly knelt down with a thump. Nathan was annoyed by the repeated orders, which made Nathan angry. "Could you please stop messing around?" Finally, Nathan said, "Recently, there have been a lot of demons and cultivators flying around me. It's really scary. It makes me too scared to even leave the house. Can your prominent status help me find out what's going on?" Princess is lamenting that it may be difficult for them to find out due to their strength. Little did Madison know, he was very excited. Lincian Tao Palace can finally make an appearance. When the two of them saw Nova in the courtyard, Princess got excited all of a sudden. Madison looked at Princess, who was all worked up. She whispered, "Haven't you seen her before? Why are you more excited than me?" But her next sentence completely made Madison lose her composure. The nine-tailed fox lost all of its cultivation achievements after undergoing the heavenly tribulation. How did it reach the Golden Core realm in just a few days without being seen? Madison suddenly got excited. Why should I be a divine maiden when I can be a maid at the sage's house? At this time, Nathan wants to invite the two of them to play chess with him. Madison was having a hard time at this moment. She has been intelligent since she was young, skilled in playing musical instruments, chess, calligraphy, and painting. There are few who can defeat her in chess, even at the Lincian Tao Palace. However, there are only a few people here. What should I do if I accidentally win against Sage and make him angry? I'll have to pretend to make a mistake and let him win a few moves. However, the reality proved that she was overthinking. When she took the first look at the chessboard, she was stunned. Is this playing chess? Just as Madison made a move, her spirit entered the chessboard world. Immediately, a huge chess piece descended from the sky. It directly flattened her. As the chess pieces fell one by one, what appeared before her eyes was the highest principle of the heavens and the earth. But she was still too weak. She couldn't withstand the laws of heaven and earth after just a few rounds. Madison spat out blood directly and conceded defeat. And then she passed out directly. Princess thought Madison was exaggerating too much to please Sage. But Nathan was completely frustrated. He gave up after only 11 moves. I haven't had enough fun yet. Princess looked at Nathan's unsatisfied face. She immediately volunteered to play against Nathan. Chess is a required course for the royal family. I have been practicing since I was young. Although I may not be unmatched, I believe I can still ensure the young prince has a good time. But the next move came so unexpectedly and caught me off guard. Nathan only made one move. Princess directly vomited and fainted. Nathan is completely speechless now. Can these people in this world really make it? Where does the confidence come from with such poor performance? Just as the two of them were preparing to say goodbye and head back, Princess suddenly tripped over something under her feet. She almost fell to the ground. When the two looked down, they saw a piece of bamboo. However, the two people's faces changed drastically after seeing it. Princess Curious asked, "Madison, what is the enlightenment of the Tao bamboo?" Madison was just about to give Princess a good introduction. Unexpectedly, Nathan picked up the enlightenment of the Tao bamboo. Oh no, how did this firewood end up here? It didn't trick you guys, did it? The two of them were stunned for a moment. Firewood. I'm preparing firewood to cook dinner. It's a good thing. The rice cooked with this firewood tastes much better than others. Princess innocently asked the petrified Madison next to her. Is this how we use the enlightenment of the Tao bamboo? Madison collapsed in an instant. How could that be possible? If it weren't for my Lincian Tao Palace being fortunate enough to have received one, I wouldn't have known that such spiritual bamboo exists. The moment she turned around and thought about it, she felt a connection. Today, to be able to come here must be fate. It must be a gift from the heavens. Let me save this enlightenment of the Tao bamboo from being burned. She immediately lit up with excitement. Nathan, please forgive me for being presumptuous. I wonder if you could give me this firewood. This material is rare and important to me, as it resonates with me like it does with my master. Nathan gave her the enlightenment of the Tao bamboo without hesitation. He also said, Is this one enough to obtain this gracious gift? I am already extremely grateful. What more could one ask for? It is sufficient. I will just use the remaining bamboo as firewood then. The resentful spirits of the bamboo of enlightenment of the Tao being burned in front have all appeared. Madison looked at the section of bamboo of enlightenment of the Tao in her hand quietly, shedding tears of heartache. Soon, Madison returned to the sect. She spoke to the giant stone statue in front of her. Madison had only seen the master, but from the stone statue came a majestic voice. Has the nine-tailed fox been brought back? To report that the master is not here. There was silence for a moment. Then why did you come back? However, the disciple already knows the whereabouts of the nine-tailed fox. I have also seen a person as great as the sky. What kind of person can be compared to the heavens? A sage who rescued the nine-tailed fox from under the heavenly tribulation can save people from the heavenly thunder. Indeed remarkable. Is this person good or evil? This person took in the nine-tailed fox without any intention to exploit or harm. What do you think? Can we bring back the fox from his hands? I'm afraid we may not be able to take it even if we try. Another moment of silence. At this time, a kind old man appeared beside Madison. Since he has no ill intentions, let's leave it as it is for now. It turns out that this person is none other than Madison's master. At this moment, Madison asked again, Master, you mentioned last time that the Divine Heart lute was damaged. Is it true? Naturally, it is true. The lute body of the Divine Heart lute is constructed on the foundation of an enlightenment of the Tao bamboo. Now that the lute's root is damaged, I'm afraid there is no hope of repair. Just when he felt hopeless, Madison pulled out that piece of bamboo. Master, is this bamboo the enlightenment of the Tao bamboo? Master excitedly took the bamboo. It really is the enlightenment of the Tao bamboo. He asked where it came from. Madison said it was obtained from that sage. She then said that there was more at sage's, but it was all used for the fire. Master's heart couldn't take it, and he spurted blood directly from his mouth. Madison quickly explained the whole story to Master, and also mentioned that he had 2 instructions for me. As soon as Master heard this, he did not dare to delay and quickly told me. Order number 1. Because the nine-tailed fox has appeared in the mortal realm. There are always cultivators lurking around the sage's place of seclusion. This troubles him. He asked us to find a solution. We need to drive away these people. Master said this is not easy. We will handle this. What about the second thing? Because the nine-tailed fox and the present-day sage's place of seclusion is always frequented by cultivators, it troubles the sage. The sage asked us to find a solution. We will drive away these people. Old man knew right away that this was not simple. Let's handle this matter. And what about the second issue? Sage loves the 1,000-year mystic ice liquid. Disciple promised to let him stay full, and old man sprayed a burst of fresh blood again. Seeing Master's appearance, Madison couldn't help but feel scared. Master, are you angry? Old Man had a gloomy expression at this moment. You have all this energy. Why didn't you just carry the entire mystic ice over there? Madison was frightened and kept backing away. But Old Man's changing expression is faster than flipping through a book. Immediately he said, "Oh yeah, I should carry the whole thing over." He calculated while thinking to himself, I, who have lived for 3,000 years, can meet such outstanding individuals and have mystic eyes take a liking to me. This is truly a heaven-sent opportunity. I am about to prosper. There's no time to delay. Let's go and implement Sage's instructions. Master, you are wise. In order to help Nathan drive away those cultivators, Brooks and Lincian Tao Palace Master Kai teamed up to stage a big show. In the presence of all the onlookers, Kai directly captured the nine-tailed fox. Brooks then said in the crowd, "Fortuitous encounter has been lost. It's better to leave now. I'll go back." So the tree fell and the monkeys scattered, and all the passers-by left. At night, Madison led all the disciples of Lincian Tao Palace to clean up the melon peels and paper scraps on the ground. She also complained that these cultivators really lack manners, throwing trash around everywhere on the ground. This is the sage's backyard, after all. At this point, Brooks asked, "What was the situation with the nine-tailed fox that Kai encountered during the day?" Little did they know, it was actually a spell cast by Kai, just a playful trick for children. Brooks, upon realizing this, immediately started to flatter and praise Kai. Madison then said, "Master, although the wandering cultivators have dispersed and dare not trouble us anymore, there is still one person. He has been pursuing the Fox clan for hundreds of years, seeking to devour the divine fox to enhance his cultivation achievements. His strength is profound and unpredictable. This person is unlikely to give up easily. Are you saying?" Master guessed right. It is indeed the Silver Moon Demon King. And at this moment, the Silver Moon Demon King is sitting on a certain mountain top. He is getting angry for not being able to find the nine-tailed fox. At this moment, a lesser demon came to report that the nine-tailed fox has been found, but was taken away by the people from Lincian Tao Palace. The Silver Moon Demon King was furious, asking why Lincian Tao Palace could find them, but you couldn't. Don't you all need to live in the world anymore? The lesser demon immediately started shivering. It trembled slightly and said, "We found the sister of the nine-tailed fox, a six-tailed fox. That still counts as somewhat useful for you." After saying that, he laughed heartily several times. He flew towards the location of the six-tailed fox in an instant. And at this moment, the six-tailed fox. She is being chased and attacked by a group of demons. The clueless little six-tailed fox can only run for her life. At this moment, the Silver Moon Demon King rushed over. He unexpectedly discovered that the little six-tailed fox was condensing the seventh tail, which greatly excited the Silver Moon Demon King. These two foxes do have secrets hidden within them. One fox only took 3 years to transition from a seven-tailed to a nine-tailed fox, while the other one is also about to grow into a seven-tail. If I can catch them and uncover the secrets within their bodies, I will soon be on my way to becoming an immortal." Just as the young six-tailed fox was desperately trying to escape, the Silver Moon Demon King suddenly appeared in front of her. He directly unleashed a powerful attack. The little six-tailed fox can only close its eyes and accept its fate. At that moment, a golden light appeared in front of her and blocked the strike. She looked up and saw that it was Madison. "You should leave quickly." The small six-tailed fox didn't hesitate and immediately turned around to run. The Silver Moon Demon King looked at the two people in front of him, ruining his plans. He angrily roared and launched a series of attacks. He was dispersed by a wave of Kai's hand. "Shoo, be quiet. Sage might be taking a nap." Perceiving that the newcomer is remarkable, the Silver Moon Demon King asked, "Who are you exactly?" "I, Lincian Tao Palace, am here to eliminate demons on behalf of others." Silver Moon Demon King is mocking Kai? Ever since the Divine Heart Loot was damaged, cultivation has become hopeless. You are so scared that you dare not even step out of your door, outwardly claiming to be in secluded cultivation for hundreds of years. People think you are cultivating with a pure and simple heart, but we demons all know that you are just being cowardly. Madison playfully said. Oh, I didn't expect to be found out. Kai then cleared his throat twice to ease the awkwardness. No need for small talk, let's settle this. If I don't take you out today, there is no point in living. Good, I'll risk my life to get that nine-tailed fox. The two of them immediately started fighting. At a critical moment, Kai swiftly summoned the divine heart lute and instantly pierced through several mountain peaks with it, defeating the great eagle. Madison quickly reminded SwordMaster to be more careful with his movements and not to disturb Sage. Oh my, I almost forgot. At this moment, Great Eagle climbed up in shock and said, How can it be restored without the enlightenment of the Tao Bamboo Divine Heart Lute? Kai suddenly realized something. It turns out that everything is within Sage's calculations. The enlightenment of the Tao Bamboo bestowed upon me by Sage is to help me slay this wicked demon. This is a fortuitous encounter. What a huge fortuitous encounter. I had long become a pawn of the Sage. Great Eagle saw that it couldn't prevail. He only heard him say, Kai, if you do not become my enemy, I will tell you a huge secret. You know that the nine-tailed fox you took away was a seven-tailed fox just 3 years ago. She transformed into a nine-tailed fox within 3 years and successfully crossed the tribulation. It must have encountered a huge fortuitous encounter. If we together uncover the secrets within this, becoming immortals will be just around the corner. Madison at this time leaned close to her master's ear and whispered quietly, This huge fortuitous encounter must be Nathan. Just as Great Eagle was about to continue persuading Kai to return. But he suddenly found that the two of them were looking at him with a pair of sympathetic eyes. Only to hear Kai sympathetically said, Such a big secret, is that all? Great Eagle was so angry that his eyes turned red. Enough. Kai, we have always been at peace. Not only did you take what is mine, but you also beat me and humiliated me. If I don't seek revenge for this, I don't deserve to be called the Demon King. Just when Kai thought that the Great Eagle was going to fight to the death against him, he just saw the Great Eagle say, I will come back. And then whoosh, he escaped. Kai didn't say a word and just watched. He went straight to chase after him. As the Great Eagle was flying frantically along the way, suddenly, a dog blocked the road ahead, almost causing a collision. This dog was Nathan's Blackie. They locked eyes for a moment. Great Eagle was furious. Where did this stupid dog come from? Almost ran into me. Get lost now. Blackie calmly said, Little demon, destroy your demon core yourself, then I won't take action. Great Eagle's eyes widened suddenly. Then he laughed. What a disgrace to be bullied by a mere mutt when I have fallen so low as to escape for my life. You're lucky this time. This Demon King doesn't have time to tangle with you. Great Eagle had just planned to leave when he heard some movement behind him. He turned back, ready to teach a lesson. As a result, he was dumbfounded. Only to see Blackie emit a towering momentum, Great Eagle asked fearfully, Who are you exactly? I'm just a regular guard dog. Then he saw a huge lightning bolt strike from the sky, which scared the two people who were chasing from behind. Just as the two were about to sneak away, Blackie arrived behind them. Hey, you two. You both saw it, right? Kai, this cowardly guy, immediately knelt down on the ground and shouted for mercy from the dog lord. I'm a dog lover. Just listen to Blackie saying, I know you are Master's guests. You understand Master's rules, right? At this moment, Madison suddenly remembered that this dog is actually raised by Nathan. She immediately nodded vigorously like a pecking chicken. I understand the rules. All right. Remember this. I'm just a mutt who's good at hunting. That eagle is just an ordinary mountain eagle that happened to be found by me. Kai immediately said, Understood, understood. Master Dog is truly the world's #1 hunting dog with remarkable skills. We admire you. At this moment, a rustling sound came from the nearby jungle. Nathan was out hunting in the mountains. He suddenly saw a lightning strike hitting a mountain peak. Nathan was greatly shocked. My goodness! He quickly ran over there. When Nathan ran to the mountaintop crying, he found Blackie was fine, and together with Madison. He thought they saved Blackie, and he excitedly kept thanking them. Madison then introduced her master to Nathan. Nathan suddenly noticed the great eagle behind Blackie. He exclaimed happily, "What a big eagle! Blackie, you're awesome!" Afterward, Nathan invited the two to his house as guests. Kai secretly rejoiced, as expected. Once he had defeated the Silver Moon Demon King, his fortuitous encounter came. On the way, Kai flattered Nathan. This made Nathan very happy and pleased. He suddenly noticed that the bow and arrows behind Nathan were made by enlightenment of the Tao bamboo. Even the bow in his hand is made by them. His little heart almost couldn't take it. He cried and said he really wanted to pick up trash with Nathan. Once they got back home, Nathan shouted excitedly, "Nova! Nova!" When they just returned home. She was about to ask about the hunting results for the day when she saw the Silver Moon Demon King on Nathan's shoulder, her eyes nearly popping out. Nathan hugged Blackie and said it was all thanks to Blackie's credit, asking her to praise it. Nova awkwardly touched Blackie's head and turned on the in-game voice chat mode. She asked in shock what was going on. "But I said I was just passing by and killed you on a whim. Do you believe that?" In the end, the two reached an agreement that they couldn't let Master become suspicious. Looking at the still-dazed Nova Nathan, he asked, "Are you unhappy?" Nova immediately exclaimed excitedly, "It's just my first time seeing such a large golden eagle. I'm a bit surprised. I bet this eagle must be very tasty. Let's cook it later and try it out." Seeing that they were actually going to eat the Silver Moon Demon King Kai, both of them were stunned. At this moment, Kai said to Nathan, "Madison told me that you like a food called jelly. I specially brought some for you today." Nathan was overjoyed upon hearing this. However, this item is not small and needs a place to be stored. This is easily resolved. Nathan was seen going to the backyard and digging up all the plants and flowers on the ground. Kai and the two saw this spiritual herb and decided to dig it up without hesitation, which broke their hearts. Then Kai waved his right hand, and a huge block of ice appeared in front of him. "Wow!" Nathan was so excited. "I thought it was a machine that produces jelly. What's this?" Only to hear Kai explain that jelly is produced from this material. This mountain is called the Millennium Mystic Ice. Unfortunately, it takes 10 years to produce a piece of jelly. However, before he could finish his words, a scene in front of him made Kai spray blood directly. His whole body just cracked open, licking this 1,000-year mystic ice by himself for thousands of years. It took 10 years for it to give him a drop. But once it arrives at Nathan, it immediately becomes a simp who follows him without question. It immediately transforms into a fountain and sprays wildly. Nathan then felt embarrassed and said, "You not only saved Blackie, but also brought me such a heavy gift. Is there anything I can do to repay you?" "I am just a mortal, and there are not many valuable things in my house. If you don't mind, just tell me what you want directly." But they thought that this was a test that the sage had set for himself. If they falsely claim that they have no desires, they will surely be seen through by the sage. If their hearts are not genuine, but if they directly express their desires, it will reveal a greedy appearance. A little carelessness will result in missing the fortuitous encounter altogether. Now Kai is really in a difficult situation. It wasn't until a long time later that Kai nervously said, "To be honest, a long-lost ancient lute was damaged for a long time. Thanks to Nathan's gift of the enlightenment of the Tao bamboo to Madison, it can now be repaired. I will never forget such kindness. Giving back a small token of appreciation is what I should do." Kai said those words with a heartache that was truly heartbreaking. Nathan was deeply moved by these words. He actually exchanged a jelly maker with a tree branch. Is this what a cultured person does, being so open-minded and indifferent? Finally, Kai spoke out about his inner thoughts. I want to ask Nathan for some advice. Madison is extremely worried now, as Nathan has always been tight-lipped about cultivation. The master sees this move as risky. I wonder how Nathan will respond. He ended up agreeing right away. Nathan sat down next to a lute, and coincidentally, I hadn't communicated with anyone about lute skills for a long time. Just when Madison thought she had been rejected, Kai, excited, was truly a lute Tao disciple Nathan recognized. Blessings. At this moment, Nathan asked Kai to play a song first as he listened on the side. When Kai approached the lute, he was shocked by this lute all at once. He felt his own divine heart lute was actually self-deprecating. It's like someone boasting about being a beauty on a one-way street. One day she will enter the city. She saw the truly stunning beauty that could overthrow a nation. Her former confidence and pride were completely shattered. Compared with the divine heart lute, how is Nathan's lute? When Kai just plucked the strings of the lute, he unexpectedly spurted out another mouthful of old blood. It was unknown how many times he had spit blood already. Kai kept saying that he was fine, just that this lute had a high level, so playing it required some mental effort. After adjusting his state, Kai began to play. Listening to Kai's playing, Nathan secretly thought that it was indeed pretty good. If the system were to evaluate it, he should be able to achieve at least an 8th grade level, right? At this moment, he recalled the days when he used to practice the lute. He had worked painstakingly hard, and finally managed to pass the 10th grade level examination. He was informed by the system that this was just the beginner level for novices. Those days were simply unbearable to look back on. Kai asked Nathan how he was. Nathan replied that everything is revealed in silence. Let's communicate through the sound of the lute. In the eager anticipation of the two people, Nathan began his performance. Just then, as Nathan plucked a string on the lute, a huge shockwave was created, almost blowing the two people away. Immediately following the shock of the two, a huge, incomparable door appeared behind Nathan, slowly opening. Could this be the legendary Tao realm? Listening to the sound of lute, the two seemed to be in the midst of a battlefield. Kai realized that this Tao realm is a battle, only to see a person transformed by a Taoist aura pull out a gun and charge towards Kai. He pierced directly through Kai. At the same time, he also experienced what the Tao realm is. He immediately found that his divine sense had returned to reality. Shortly after, he found that all the plants behind him were uprooted one by one. He was horrified to find that the creatures in the courtyard had actually cultivated to such a level. At this moment, the sound of the battle zither being played unraveled everything, revealing their true forms. Any random demon in this courtyard would be able to defeat the Silver Moon Demon King in an instant. Kai finally understands at this moment that it is not that Nathan does not want to comment. It's because his own musical skills are too poor to bother commenting. Kai is now irresistibly drawn by this music. Nathan is truly superior. For generations, I have cultivated for 3,000 years just for the fate of meeting him. After a long time, the music stopped. Nathan hesitantly asked how he played. Both of them were already so shocked that they couldn't speak, but instead, they envied the creatures in the courtyard for being able to hear such beautiful music every day. Finally, Kai regained his senses, bowed to Nathan, and said, "Please enlighten me, Nathan. I have greatly benefited from your teachings. May I ask for the name of this piece?" Nathan only said, "The Ten-Face Doctrine." He then said, "As a return gift for the jelly machine, I will write down the music score and give it to you next time." Upon hearing this, Kai was so excited that tears streamed down his face, exclaiming, 3,000 years! My life has not been in vain. Inside the Lingyun Immortal Pavilion, the sect leader of the secluded cultivation, who has been in seclusion for a long time, is finally coming out of seclusion. At a critical moment, Divine Maiden Ivy is gathering everyone to channel their magical power together to assist her father. Just then, a huge apparition appeared in midair. The giant figure sucked in all the chi in the air with one gulp. Immediately after, a strong gust of wind surged open. When the smoke cleared, a figure slowly emerged. Just as Ivy thought she had succeeded, she saw a burst of black aura emanating from that person's body. Ivy, I have reached a critical moment in cultivation breakthrough. If I fail, I will be backlashed. The consequences would be unthinkable. Go fetch the 9-curve spirit ginseng from the top level of the treasure trove. Whether I can succeed in the cultivation breakthrough depends on this crucial moment. Ivy's whole body split apart instantly upon hearing these words. Then she hesitantly said, I gave away the 9-curve spirit ginseng. No problem. Then you go get the rainbow veil herb. I gave that away too. He was completely upset when he heard this. When he learned that all the top-quality spirit medicines had been given away. Sect leader Osman was directly infuriated to the point of spraying blood wildly. He thudded to the ground and fell flat on his face. Alas, what a misfortune! What a misfortune! So many top-grade spirit medicines. How could you bear to give them all away? Little did she know, Ivy's face turned pink as she praised Nathan non-stop. After hearing that, Osman felt completely uneasy. She has been deceived. Her money is probably gone, but it seems like Ivy, this young woman, will have a hard time protecting her reputation as well. He is grieved and indignant. Immediately, he dismissed all his disciples. He prepared to take time to adjust his breathing before going to dismember the man who harmed his daughter. At this moment, Ivy suddenly remembered the tea leaves Nathan had given to her. Maybe it could help her father. When Osman saw that he only received a bag of tea in exchange for 16 top-grade spirit medicines, he felt heartbroken once again when he saw how his clever daughter, who had been so intelligent since childhood, ended up with such a scumbag and became like this. When Ivy opened the bag of tea leaves, a strong golden light burst out from the tea leaves. In just a moment, all the evil energy on him was completely dispelled. The next second, the sect leader unexpectedly transformed into a middle-aged handsome man. When he drank the tea that his daughter had brewed for him, he unexpectedly had a cultivation breakthrough in an instant. He kept exclaiming how the tea leaves were truly valuable. Sure enough, it's my Ivy. She unexpectedly brought back such a treasure. What a fortuitous encounter. He suddenly exclaimed, Where is she? When will she bring her to see me? She obviously thought her father misunderstood something. So she explained the whole situation to her father, step by step. The story goes that the little six-tailed fox finally escaped to Nathan's place, and finally found Nova and rushed into her arms. By this time, she had grown into a 7-tailed fox. She was crying and telling her sister about being chased and hunted. Did you manage to escape later, perhaps with someone's help? 7-tail was astonished. Sister, you are truly resourceful. How did you know all this? It's not that I am resourceful. Look, what is that? Following Nova's direction, it turned out to be a great eagle mounted on a rack. 7-tail was so shocked that his face contorted instantly. She excitedly asked, Sister, Silver Moon Demon King is dead? Yeah, he is dead beyond dead, she replied. Not only was its fur plucked from the body, but it was also cleaned thoroughly. They said it was first salted for a day. Watching the still shocked 7-tail Nova, he continued, He must have foreseen that you were in danger, so he sent someone to rescue you on purpose. Everything was not a coincidence, but all under his control. When the time comes, I'll see if there is a chance to leave a portion for you. His things are very beneficial to your cultivation achievement. Also, I have an idea. 7-tail Nova asked curiously, What idea? He hinted that I should turn you into human form to serve him with me. But I haven't confirmed if I misunderstood his intentions. I'm afraid that bringing you back abruptly might be inappropriate. Recently, the group of monsters has been leaderless and causing chaos everywhere. I want you to go and become the new Demon King to govern the group of monsters and create a good hunting environment for them. Once you have accomplished something, and I have ascertained his intentions, I will bring you back to the courtyard to serve him. Seven Tail, I don't even know where to begin criticizing your ideas. And then I saw her covering her head in fear, screaming, I refuse to be the Demon King. When Nova saw how timid she was, you're almost Seven Tail's spiritual fox. With the strength to be the Demon King, you just lack courage. Those lesser demons are afraid of you without the Silver Moon Demon King backing them up. Why doesn't Sister become the Demon King? Unexpectedly, Nova blushed and said, I am kept by salary. Without his permission, it's not proper to show myself outside. Seven Tail was speechless in an instant. The scene shifted, and Ivy arrived at Nathan's yard with her father. At the entrance, Ivy repeatedly reminded her father to remember Nathan's taboos. The two of them entered Nathan's living room and exchanged pleasantries for a while. Osmond directly inquired about Nathan's household registration. Do you know where Nathan apprenticed? How many people are there in his family? Until which stage has he cultivated? How is his salary? Is he married? This suddenly made Ivy very shy. She directly stepped on her father's foot, causing him to spit out a mouthful of blood due to the pain. Nathan then invited both of them to stay for lunch together, saying that he had just made some chicken soup. After seeing Nathan leave, Ivy suddenly exploded. Are you trying to die? After some explanation from her father, Ivy suddenly felt that her father also made some sense. At this time, Sage has gone to light the fire to cook rice. Do you know what we should do now? Nathan, who was cooking in the kitchen, saw the father and daughter walk in and exclaimed excitedly, We can't just sit back and relax. I'm planning to help Nathan cook together. So Osmond was left with the glorious yet challenging task of chopping wood. However, he was already exhausted after chopping only a few pieces of wood. Nathan couldn't believe how tired he became after chopping a few pieces of wood. He suggested to Osmond not to push himself too hard. Osmond, however, insisted that he was fine. Other than the firewood I'm splitting actually being spirit wood, and the axe for chopping wood being a demonic sword. Everything is quite reasonable, there is nothing abnormal. And now, this demon-fall sword unexpectedly has lost all its demonic nature. It even has a hint of holy aura now. While this spirit wood may seem no different from ordinary firewood. But every time I chop, I need to use up to 80% of my strength. Every chop causes violent tremors in the pathways of my spiritual energy. I can't believe I have become a man who chops spirit wood so extravagantly. When Nathan's chicken soup arrived, Osmond jumped up in shock. Is this the Silver Moon Demon King stewed in this broth? Nathan sees Osmond getting tired after chopping wood for a while, so he asks him to drink more. Bird's nest soup is very nutritious. Osmond couldn't stand this at all. He didn't even do a simple task like chopping wood well. We have to figure out a way to salvage the situation, otherwise, our encounter with Nathan in fortuitous encounter might be ruined. He was immediately drawn to the eagle soup in front of him the next second. He looked at the bowl of eagle soup in his hand. Osmond could no longer control himself. He gulped it down in one go. He finished it all in one breath. He gave Nathan a big thumbs up. At this moment, he suddenly remembered the gift he had prepared for Nathan. Nathan was ecstatic when he heard there was a gift. Is it another fascinating and magical artifact? This is the preacher's relic passed down through generations in our Lingyun Immortal Pavilion, recording all the insights of Pavilion Master's cultivation. Wow, a crystal ball? Just then, Shar emitted a burst of light. Then a huge projector appeared before his eyes, displaying the lecture hall program. Nathan was stunned at the sight of this projector. Then he asked, Is this a television? Osmond was taken aback at the question. What's a television? It is a special product of my hometown, a square box that can play many programs. I can see what's happening all around the world from the comfort of my own home. Speaking of which, I used to really enjoy watching cultivation TV dramas. Father and daughter both suddenly felt overwhelmed as the amount of information was too much for them to process at once. But they both believed that Nathan's hometown was the immortal realm, and the TV set must be a much higher level immortal artifact compared to the preacher's relic. He wanted to perform well, and make up for the mistake of chopping firewood. He didn't expect that even pulling out the preacher's relic couldn't move Nathan's heart. Thinking about this, he felt even worse. At this moment, Nathan took Char in his hand and said, "This looks so beautiful, and you can even carry it with you." Just how come the program is the same as online courses? Can't the content be changed? Little did he know that this idea had just come to mind. The projection just showed that the memory has been cleared. Please input a new image. Osmond collapsed all of a sudden. Is the 1,000-year heritage of Mylingune Immortal Pavilion gone just like that? At this time, Nathan asked how to input new images. After learning how to input new images, Nathan looked at Char with a lecherous smile on his face. But he immediately had a second thought. He originally wanted to try projecting some welfare scenes, but he decided against it. He didn't want to scare them. So he recorded the images of Journey to the West into Char. Saw the extremely shocking images. Both the father and daughter were stunned. Is this the ancient immortal realm? They didn't expect to catch a glimpse of the immortal realm. Fortuitous encounter. What a huge fortuitous encounter. Nathan even thanked the two of them, saying he loved it too much. The father and daughter finally salvaged some face this time. After saying that, he began to tidy up the dining table and asked the two of them to take a rest for a while. Watching Nathan walk away with the soup, Osmond asked, "Are you taking this soup?" Nathan replied directly, "I'm planning to dump it." Upon hearing that it was going to be dumped, both of them were surprised. This eagle is just too big. It can't be finished anyway, and if it's left for too long, it won't be fresh. They could only pour it out. Nova Blackie, they have all had enough to drink. This weather is too hot to handle. If only there was a refrigerator. Osmond immediately began to stutter and hesitated, saying, Nathan said, "If you don't want this soup, may I have it packed to go?" When the father and daughter returned to the sect, the elder suddenly rushed up excitedly, saying that there was an important matter to report. It turns out that a high-level secret realm appeared in the west. At this moment, Osmond said, "I have packed some food for you to take away. How about eating and talking at the same time?" Now is not the time to eat. Just listen to Elder rambling on about how great the secret realm is. Fortuitous encounter is so big, many people have already rushed over there. After speaking, he took out the magic treasure and dry rations that had been prepared earlier and urged the sect leader to hurry. Osmond directly said, "I'm not going." The elder was shocked for a moment. "Are you kidding me?" At this moment, Osmond said, "I brought back a treasure for you all." Elder exclaimed as soon as he saw the packaging box, saying, "This is indeed a treasure." Osmond grinned and showed off the treasure he brought back, saying that this box is indeed a treasure too. But I want you guys to take a look at the soup inside. Compared to that secret realm, this soup can truly be called a fortuitous encounter. Looking at the various spiritual herbs in the soup, the three of them were almost stunned. This isn't called a fortuitous encounter. This is called luxury, isn't it? Only saw Elder directly pour the soup into his own mouth, which made the other two elders cry in distress. At this time, the two people are still discussing the refrigerator mentioned by Nathan just now. Guessing from Nathan's context, that should be a magical item that can keep food ice cold. Its specific function is not yet known, but it seems to be particularly important to Sage. I don't know if Sage deliberately brought it up as a hint for me to find it for him. The three elders who had finished their soup exclaimed that the soup was simply divine. What is Chuyun Mountain's secret realm compared to it? Osmond heard this all of a sudden. He instantly arrived in front of Elder and asked, "Where is the secret realm?" Elder was obviously startled and replied, "It's at Chuyun Mountain in the west." Osmond's eyes suddenly lit up. Is it the Chuyun Mountain covered in ice and snow in the west? After receiving a positive response, Osmond suddenly burst into laughter, leaving the elders looking bewildered. Presumably, Nathan not only became aware of the appearance of the secret realm, he even calculated the treasures in the secret realm before being able to mention it. He intends for me to go and search for the refrigerator, which must be in that secret realm. Seizing this fortuitous encounter to help Nathan is our blessing. In the blink of an eye, that person turned into the brightest star and headed to Chuyun Mountain. When Osmond arrived at Chuyun Mountain, here was already surrounded by a large number of cultivators, and Osmond was shivering from the bone-chilling cold, because the mechanism at the entrance was actually a chessboard, and to this day, no one has been able to solve it. Seeing this chessboard, Osmond was puzzled by how similar it was to the one in Nathan's yard. Could it be that this secret realm is also related to Nathan? Osmond just said that this chess game is something I cannot solve. He hadn't finished speaking when the cultivator left. He had just prepared to speak of his breakthrough when he was interrupted again, only to see that person comforted him, saying that this chess game is too difficult. You don't have to blame yourself too much if you can't figure it out. Osmond reiterated that I can really do it. However, he was interrupted as a man flew over. The crowd exclaimed that he is the #1 in the world when it comes to chess. He is truly deserving of the title of Tianyan Taoist. Only to see him, a very narcissistic person, strutting to the chessboard. He began to make flashy moves very pretentiously. But after a round of moves, he not only failed to break the deadlock, he was instead directly struck into a star by the backlash force from the game. Just as everyone was disappointed and about to leave, the door behind them unexpectedly slammed open. Osmond shivered and said, "It's really too cold. Can we go inside and talk?" Everyone praised Osmond together. Osmond modestly responded, "I'm just average." The leader, Qingyang Taoist, laughed and said, "Not only is your chess skill good, but you can also act better now." Then he asked if Osmond had encountered some fortuitous encounter. Osmond said, "I just tried my luck casually and didn't expect the door to open." Everyone praised that your luck is unrivaled. But the old man named Qingyang Taoist behind you is smiling ominously. As you go deeper, the temperature inside gets lower and lower. Those with low cultivation achievements have all been frozen into ice sculptures. Only Osmond and Qingyang Taoist are left. Soon the two of them reached the end. They found some steps ahead. At the end of the steps, there was a large block of ice floating. As soon as Osmond saw it, he was extremely excited and shouted, "Refrigerator!" "Nathan, I found the refrigerator you mentioned." Qingyang Taoist immediately recognized that this was actually the crystal of ice essence. It is a treasure that can freeze one's lifespan and make people nearly achieve immortality. Then Qingyang Taoist looked at Osmond dancing around like a fool. When Osmond arrived next to the crystal of ice essence, he looked excited. He will definitely make Nathan very happy by bringing it back. Unexpectedly, Qingyang Taoist silently appeared behind him. His eyes gleamed with a red light as he directly struck down with a club. He looked at the fallen Osmond. Qingyang Taoist mumbled, "Only the strongest person can obtain the treasure. The crystal of ice essence is mine." After saying that, he reached out for the crystal of ice essence. But the next second, Qingyang Taoist was frozen into an ice sculpture. I don't know how long passed. Osmond woke up. He wondered if something had just chopped my back. He is glad that he drank the Silver Moon Demon King stew. He could feel the soup turning into spiritual energy. At the critical moment, it defended itself against the attack and severe cold. Now his admiration for Nathan has deepened. Truly worthy of Nathan. At this moment, he discovered the ice sculpture of Qingyang Taoist. To his surprise, he burst into tears. He bowed to Qingyang Taoist, expressing his gratitude for their guidance and sacrifice that saved him from danger. He will always remember this in his heart. He then took out the packed box that Nathan had given him before. He directly packaged the crystal of ice essence. He excitedly jogged over to me and gave me this box. It turns out he also wanted to put the refrigerator in it. What a clever plan! What a clever plan! At this moment, the ice sculpture Taoist unexpectedly left behind tears of sadness. At this time, on Nathan's side, today is the sacred Yuan festival. He then planned to take Nova to the city to have fun. The city is now decorated with lights and colorful decorations. It's very lively. Children on the street are playing around everywhere. Someone suddenly bumped into Nathan. Nathan greeted them with a smile. At this moment, Ellie rushed over. They saw Nathan warmly greeting them as soon as they saw him. Ellie said, "I've been wondering for a long time why I haven't seen you around. It's only today that I found out the reason you have a girlfriend now." This sudden revelation made Nathan feel shy. He kept explaining repeatedly, "We are just friends." Ellie had a look of, "I understand," on her face. Unexpectedly, Nova suddenly explained, "But I am not Nathan's wife, but rather a pet he keeps." This surprised Ellie. "Are you guys playing so rough?" This doesn't need any explanation, but if it's misunderstood, it could be even worse. At this moment, Ellie quickly shouted, saying Nathan is here. Just saw Lily excitedly running over with a basket of eggs. She said this is a thank you gift for saving her last time. Nathan even praised Lily as a really good kid. Lily also happily said that she wants to join a cultivation sect to learn how to fight demons and protect everyone. Nathan listened in a daze. Later, Ellie explained that Lily had been obsessed with cultivation since the last time. Coincidentally, each sect will be entering the city during the Sacred Yuan Festival to recruit new disciples every year. Lily is also preparing to go. Nathan praised her for being ambitious. He also said that Lily really worshipped a cultivator as her master. "I will give you a big gift." The little girl's eyes lit up with excitement. Then the two of them hooked arms. Looking at the fireworks, Nova, bursting in the sky, she sighed at how beautiful the fireworks in this world were. Unexpectedly, he started saying sweet nothings. However, compared to the fireworks, you, Nova, are even more beautiful. This made Nova extremely happy. At this moment, Nova suddenly pointed to the brothel beside her and asked Nathan, "What is that place?" Nathan's face turned red all of a sudden. "Nova, are you interested in that place?" Nova nodded and said, "I seem to have smelled a strange odor." "It's coming from over there," Nathan exclaimed. "You must not be interested in that place." "That's where mature men and women discuss cooperation," he said while pulling Nova away from the place. "It's very dangerous. You must not get close." However, Nova thought to himself, "Since Nathan is already aware of its danger, I'd better keep quiet." But it is really dangerous inside Fragrant Pavilion at this moment. I saw a woman being instantly sucked dry by a demon. The demon licked its lips, seemingly still unsatisfied. He said, "Next." Then he flew away with a whoosh. When Nathan was strolling at the Lantern Festival with Nova. At this time, they saw Lily walking over, followed by a beautiful young woman. Lily immediately called out happily to Nathan as soon as she saw him. She introduced him to her master, excitedly telling him that she had already joined a cultivation sect. At this moment, a bystander said, "The Golden Lotus sect is just an insignificant small sect, not legitimate at all. Only small sects like this pick low-grade spirit roots to cultivate." Upon hearing the bystander's words, Lily suddenly became extremely dejected. "Nathan, they said I'm just a low-grade spirit root. Maybe I'll cultivate my whole life and still not achieve anything." Nathan squatted down and patted Lily's head, praising, "That's still a 1 in a million talent, much stronger than me. Oh, by the way, I brought you a gift." Only to see Nathan take out a set of writing tools from his spatial storage. He wrote a few strokes and completed a piece of calligraphy in that very moment. Only to see a strong chi burst into the sky on calligraphy and painting. The Emperor in the distance and the demon from the previous brothel were both shocked by this chi. Wait for the golden light to dissipate. The calligraphy slowly drifted onto the table. Nova was greatly shocked when she saw the words written by Nathan. Countless people cultivate for immortality, and your sentence is a wish for Lily to attain the Tao. At this moment, even Lily's reluctant master was astonished. Who exactly is this young man? At this moment, Nathan handed calligraphy and painting to Lily and instructed her to study hard in the future. Upon standing up, Nathan saw the Emperor approaching in response to the commotion. Lily is cultivating within your immortal dynasty. She is young, so if it's convenient, please take good care of her. As soon as the words were spoken, he felt embarrassed. Is it too impolite for me to speak up like this? If you don't mind, I will prepare a gift next time and visit you in person. The Emperor suddenly appeared in front of Nathan, excitedly shaking his hand. Consider me your guest. Then Nathan bid farewell to the Emperor and left. The Emperor and his daughter quickly bowed and saw them off, which stunned the onlookers. Lily, the reluctant master, was still shocked at this moment. Who exactly is this young man? How could the Emperor bow to him? At this moment, Lily gently pulled her master and looked at her own inexpensive disciple, once again shocked. Who is this little girl that she just accepted? The Emperor breathed a sigh of relief only after seeing Nathan walk away at this moment. It turns out that Nathan is so terrifying when he gets serious. That piece of calligraphy is perhaps the supreme treasure, surpassing anything we have seen before. He just gave it to a little girl with a low-grade spirit root. But then he sourly said, with Nathan's assistance, even a mother pig could achieve success, not to mention a low-grade spirit root. He was just about to go and settle down Lily. At this moment, a dark figure flew over and grabbed Lily, then flew away. The Emperor, seeing the newcomer, was shocked. Princess on the side said, Heavenly Demon Taoist? Heavenly Demon Taoist is different from ordinary cultivators. They specialize in the demonic path, enjoy fresh blood, and have a cruel nature. Those who fall into his clutches have never survived from ancient times to the present. Father Emperor Nathan instructed us to take good care of Lily. What should we do now? Do you have time to explain? Hurry up and catch up. Only to see Heavenly Demon Taoist brought Lily to a forest. At this time, Lily showed no fear and loudly shouted, Demon! If you want to eat, then eat! In my next life, I'll be reborn as a top-grade spirit root and exterminate you all. The Heavenly Demon Taoist chuckled and said, My goal is not you, but this calligraphy. Of course, I can kill you and take the things away afterwards. Then go ahead and kill me. Even though you will take away the things, I will never surrender to evil like you. Because Journey to the West gave me courage. Yukon will never surrender to evil like you. Heavenly Demon Taoist was taken aback. What is Wukong? At that moment, a sudden attack struck Heavenly Demon Taoist. The attackers were Emperor and his family of 3. Without further ado, the two of them immediately began fighting. He saw that he was no match for Emperor. The Heavenly Demon Taoist actually took advantage of the Emperor's unpreparedness and secretly captured the mother and daughter. The Emperor took out a precious sword and was about to go forward to rescue the people. The scene before my eyes is so alluring. He was stimulated to the point of having a nosebleed. At this moment, Heavenly Demon Taoist transformed into a gigantic monster and lifted Lily in his hands. Both of us are in the soul projection realm. But wait until I consume this piece of calligraphy. I turn the spiritual energy inside for my own use, and then even your earth dragon fire does not scare me. With that, he swallowed Lily in one gulp. After Heavenly Demon Taoist swallowed Lily, a vortex appeared in his stomach. Next, a person wearing a straw hat walked out. She glanced at Lily, and then lightly waved her hand, dispersing everyone with just one word. The incarnation of the Heavenly Demon Taoist was instantly dissolved. The mother and daughter were also successfully rescued. Princess is still puzzled about who that person is. Taoist aura manifested, only to hear the Emperor say, With a single thought, reality may shift. With one word, the law is forged. One stroke may write the chronicles of time, and a painting may steady the sun and moon. Immortal. So the three people bowed to the figure in the air. Lily then asked, "What about that demon from earlier? Is he dead?" You see. She followed Straw Hat's gaze. She found that the heavenly demon Taoist was desperately fleeing. Just saw Straw Hat lightly reaching out his hand. Heavenly demon Taoist was instantly caught and brought back. Heavenly demon Taoist immediately knelt down, crying in pain and begging for mercy. Straw Hat directly placed his hand on his head. Just when Heavenly demon Taoist thought he had saved a life. In an instant, he vanished into thin air. The Emperor's family was clearly extremely shocked by this blow. Lily looked at the ball floating in the air and disdainfully commented on how ugly it looked. Straw Hat chuckled lightly and explained, "This is the nascent soul." Then she controlled the nascent soul to arrive above Lily's forehead, and with a gentle exhale, emitted a word melt. Just then, the nascent soul dissolved on Lily's head and disappeared, and Lily slowly floated down. At this moment, in the enrollment office of the Golden Lotus sect, Lily's reluctant master was preparing to pack up and leave in a hurry. It turns out that her own disciple has attracted the attention of the heavenly demon Taoist. If they come here again to capture someone next time, we might all be implicated. She originally just wanted to recruit a maid to wash her feet. Someone with a low-grade spirit root would have sufficed. Who knew it would be such a troublesome spirit? We can't handle this. Just as she was about to slip away, the Emperor returned with Lily. "Stop right there." Seeing her about to rush out the door, thinking she was in a hurry to rescue Lily, he even showed a little, "I know everything" expression, after he handed her over to her master. Only to hear the Emperor continue speaking. Although she only has a low-grade spirit root, she has already been supported by the essence of the nascent soul of the heavenly demon Taoist, an immortal. Reluctant master was stunned and then asked, "Where is the sect?" Only to hear her awkwardly say, "Golden Lotus sect, located in the north of the Immortal Dynasty, a super small sect that no one knows about." The Emperor immediately warned the other party to take good care of her. If anything happens, it will be even more terrifying than the heavenly demon Taoist. Then, to their astonishment, the Emperor pulled out a bunch of items, all necessary for each stage of cultivation. He even said that if they were not enough, they could send someone to get more at any time. The reluctant master just stood there in a daze. What is my identity as a disciple? This is not just taking in a disciple, it's like taking in an ancestor. When Nathan and Nova returned, they passed through a small grove. The two were targeted by two wolf demons. The second wolf curiously asked, "What are a man and a woman doing here in the woods at night?" The first wolf, looking impatient, replied, "Are you stupid? A man and a woman come into the woods at night. What else could they be doing? When they are busy, we strike. We don't even need to take off their clothes ourselves. You need to broaden your horizons and learn more." At this moment, Nova suddenly said there were some annoying noises behind them. Nathan, however, thought Nova was scared of walking at night, so he pulled her into his arms. He immediately said in a very manly way, "Even though I'm not very capable, I will protect you no matter what happens." This moved Nova deeply. Nova nestled in Nathan's arms and happily said, "It's okay, let's go home." Nova is not scared anymore. The two noises have been taken care of. And at this moment, the two wolf demons behind had long been as cold as they could be. When they returned home, Nathan is about to prepare to go to their respective rooms to sleep. Nova blushed and timidly approached, feeling tired after today's outing. "Do you need Nova's help getting ready for bed?" Nathan's face flushed red all of a sudden. He quickly turned away and said to Nova, "You look tired too. You don't need to serve me. No need to serve." Then he slammed the door shut with a bang and hid in the room. Back in the room, he was still shaken and whispered to himself that he had almost lost control just now. Nova stared in surprise at Nathan fleeing in panic for a while. "In that case, I'll take care of another matter." At this moment, in a forest somewhere, all the demons are contending for the throne of the Demon King. Seven-Tail also came to the scene helplessly. Seeing these demon monsters, Seven-Tail was so scared that he cried. So she jumped onto a branch and quietly watched. The arena fight started soon. Who will win in the end? Then, that person will be the new Demon King. At this moment, Seven-Tail looked on in horror. A huge white tiger monster walked towards the ring, and shortly after getting on stage, a giant lion monster also stepped onto the ring to take the Demon King's position. "Count me in! Count me in too!" Just as the words fell, a huge bear demon also ran over. This is only second to the 3 Demon Kings after the Silver Moon Demon King, who all came together. All the demon sects clearly fear these 3 major Demon Kings, and no one dares to step onto the arena anymore. Just as the host was about to announce the start of the competition, it was suddenly interrupted by a voice. "And me!" Everyone looked towards the sound, only to find it was a little fox. Everyone looked at the little fox with a puzzled expression. Does she not care about her life? Although Seven-Tail is terrified deep down, when she thinks that her sister said she could do it, then she must be able to do it herself. So she gritted her teeth and walked to the arena step by step. The match officially began at this moment, but it was only a split-second encounter. Seven-Tail was directly knocked out and sent flying. She immediately started crying in pain. How can she possibly fight back? But that's not all. I saw the white tiger demon open its mouth wide and start sucking wildly. A huge wind suddenly rose up. The wind sucked everyone towards the white tiger demon. Poor Seven-Tail is just too small. She was suddenly sucked towards white tiger demon, and just as Seven-Tail was despairing and thinking she was done for, the jade on her neck suddenly shone with a golden light. So, amidst the shocked gazes of everyone, a huge phoenix flew out from the jade. It was just one strike. Just now, the arrogant and unrivaled white tiger demon has turned into a pile of garbage. Seven-Tail looks at the jade given to herself by her sister. Everything was within her expectations. The next second, she proudly said, "Who else?" Who knew that the host would say, "Today's competition is based on demon power. Relying on human tools to win cannot make the group of demons submit. If you truly want to become the Demon King, you can't use the jade anymore." Seven-Tail, who heard the words, saw the 2 Demon Kings attacking towards her. She fell into despair once again. The bear demon struck out with a fist towards Seven-Tail, preparing to finish her off. The ground was instantly shattered by that punch. Bear demon smugly said, "Overestimating your own abilities. You really are overestimating your own abilities." Just then, Nova appeared out of nowhere and just rescued Seven-Tail from Bear Demon's hands. What? A human girl? The host also thought she was a human girl. You deliberately sent Seven-Tail to disrupt the competition for the Demon King. You really have old eyes and dim vision. Gathering in the wild mountains and hills, everyone present is a demon, and naturally, I am also a demon. After speaking, Nova revealed the true form of the nine-tailed fox. The demons were all greatly surprised. Weren't you captured by the people from Linciantao Palace? I'll give you one last chance to choose, surrender or die? Lion Demon obviously refuses and charges towards Nova to attack. However, Nova only needs one strike. She quickly took down Lion Demon. Now, is there anyone else who doubts her abilities? The next moment, all the demons knelt down one after another, expressing their submission to Nova. Only the bear demon remained standing in place. Nova looked at the bear demon and asked, "You still refuse to submit?" The bear demon said in fear, "It's a misunderstanding. My legs are weak, and I can't kneel down." "Then I'll help you." Just then, Nova waved his hand. A surge of spiritual energy arrived at the leg of the bear demon, and the next second it knelt down with a thud. It humbly spoke with its tail wagging. "Thank you, new Demon King. Is there still opposition to my younger sister becoming the Demon King now? The next morning, Nathan suddenly woke up from a dream, thinking the food had burned. So he went to the yard to do morning exercises. At this moment, Nova opened the door and walked in from outside. Nova, you missed morning exercise. Morning exercise should be done every day without slacking off. She immediately put on a feminine look and said she knew she was wrong. So she and Nathan started doing morning exercises together. Where did you just go, Nova? The stone lantern in the courtyard has been left unlit, so I went out to gather some lamplight, Nathan. Suddenly, I became curious. Lamplight? Can it be gathered? I saw Nova release 2 fireflies from their sleeves, and the fireflies flew into the stone lantern. The lantern lit up all of a sudden. Nathan explained how magical it was. Upon hearing Nathan say he really liked it, Nova had a happy smile on her face. But isn't the lifespan of a firefly very short? Will they need to change the light bulb later? Don't worry, these 2 can last for a long time. It turns out that these 2 fireflies are actually 2 firefly demons. But these 2 demons are currently doubting the existence of demons. Is this Divine Fox and the one from the forest last night the same person? Speaking of which, Lily and her reluctant master finally returned to the sect, but the sect in front of them was so dilapidated. I can't believe that a cultivation sect would be in such a ruinous state. Lily entered her own room. Although the conditions are quite harsh. But Lily is excited. She can finally carry out the cultivation she has longed for. At this moment, Lily's master entered another room. She only heard Lily say to the person lying on the bed, "Sister, I'm back." The person lying on the bed looked exactly like her. This person is none other than Alina, the true leader of the Golden Lotus sect. She weakly said, "Lydia, you're back." Alina struggled to sit up and said, "My time is running out. In the future, the Golden Lotus sect will rely on you. I was poisoned while collecting honey in the wild. Our sect is too small, and no one is willing to provide an antidote. I am speechless. Is it that your cultivation achievement is too weak, or is the bee too poisonous? A dignified cultivator will be defeated by a bee and on the verge of dying." At that moment, her younger sister said, "Sister, this time I have received an unparalleled disciple." Alina's face lit up with excitement. "Oh, could it be a mid-grade spirit root?" Lydia shook her head. "Could it be a talented high-grade spirit root?" "No, she is just a low-grade spirit root." Hearing this, Alina spat out a mouthful of blood, almost unjustly dead. "I am about to die, and I'm joking with myself. How can I trust you to take care of the Golden Lotus sect? Sister, although she is a low-grade spirit root, she is a great opportunity for our Golden Lotus sect." At this point, Lydia suddenly took out countless top-grade spirit medicines, all personally gifted by the Emperor. "With these spirit medicines, sister, your poison can be cured." Alina looked incredulous. "All this because of the disciple you accepted?" "She has a godlike brother, the Emperor, who gave so many treasures just to please him." What a stroke of luck. Finally, our Golden Lotus sect's fortunes have changed. "In that case, you must take good care of that disciple." "Sister, rest assured, it's only natural." Alina looked curious. What kind of low-grade spirit root could make the Emperor so diligently flatter? At this moment, there was a knock at the door. Lily peeked her head out. Lydia immediately introduced Lily. "This is my sister. You can call him Martial Uncle." Lily could see someone sitting on the bed, who looked just like their master. She was clearly surprised and quickly bowed to greet Martial Uncle. At this moment, Lydia asked Lily what she was looking for. "Master, I would like to ask you to help me take a look at this list." Lily took out a piece of paper from her bosom, and Lydia took it and looked at it. "These people are all enemies. Starting from now, they will be eliminated one by one. From now on, anyone who bullies Nathan, the Golden Lotus sect, or me, I will spare none." The 2 sisters were immediately stunned by this overbearing aura. What kind of low-grade spirit root could be so powerful? The scene immediately shifted as Whitey opened the door in Nathan's home. It saw the Emperor and Princess running in excitedly. "Nathan, Lily wrote you a letter. We are here to deliver the message." At this moment, Nathan was brushing his teeth. After he finished brushing, he spat the mouthwash onto a flower pot. He immediately said, "Why would Emperor himself run errands like delivering letters?" The two of them smiled and said that they dare not neglect it. But at this moment, they were attracted by the pot of sunflowers just now, only to see that the sunflower, which had been bathed in Nathan's mouthwash for a long time, had actually become alive. The two of them were stunned for several seconds. Next, they were actually in tears, envious of these flowers. Speaking of which, as the great immortal dynasty emperor, can't you have a little self-respect? While the two were still in a daze, they heard Nathan say, "You're here to deliver a message, right? I don't believe that. Are you here for a free meal? Perfect timing, I'll show you a treasure." When the two followed Nathan to the backyard, they were stunned. Preacher's Relic. The heirloom of Lingyun Immortal Pavilion. 1,000-year cold ice mountain. The precious treasure of Lincian Tao Palace. Nathan called for them to come quickly and show you something good. The two of them became even more excited. Is there anything more powerful? Refrigerator. I just casually mentioned it, and he actually helped me get a refrigerator. Emperor and the other person are still curious because the square box doesn't seem to have anything special. But when Nathan opened the refrigerator door, the two of them were instantly frozen. This is the crystal of ice essence. At this point, Nathan took out 2 popsicles from inside. I want to give you guys a taste of this. The two immediately shook off the ice cubes beside them. They stared curiously at the popsicle in Nathan's hand. My hometown is called Popsicle. Princess sighed as she looked at the popsicle in her hand, exclaiming how beautiful it is. This must be the food of the immortals. She was just about to take a bite when she was promptly stopped by the Emperor. This is food formed by the condensation of the cold air from the crystal of ice essence, which is a malevolent object that can freeze one's lifespan. If you're not careful, with just one bite, your life will be in danger. Then, in the two people's shocked eyes, Nathan took a bite of the popsicle. Then he showed a face of enjoyment. This is the taste of summer. Don't you want to try it? And then I saw the Emperor unleash all his power just to eat a popsicle. Then he lightly licked it. The next second, he seemed to have arrived in a snow and ice world. But he didn't feel cold at all. Instead, he felt a warmth like spring. Suddenly, he heard Emperor shouting loudly, only to see bursts of golden light erupting from Emperor's chest. Princess looked worried on the side. Refinement, breakthrough, and rise again. This is the trial popsicle gives us, worthy of being a food of the immortals. Just one bite, and it brings me back to the peak. Princess was at a loss when she heard her father's words. You must be cautious. Although this popsicle is good, if you are not careful, it may freeze in the snow and ice. The princess is looking at the popsicle as if facing a formidable enemy. And then, they both looked silly and started licking eagerly. Nathan sees the two of them like this. Where did you guys learn to eat popsicles like this? They will melt. You guys try it this way. And then we saw Nathan take a big bite. That's the way to enjoy it. The two of them instantly petrified on the spot. They will die, right? Nathan looked at the two of them hesitating to speak. You guys should give it a try too. The two of them looked at the popsicle in their hands, as if facing a life or death enemy. Do not be afraid, practice with me. Our bloodline is protected by the Earthfire Dragon. Let's give our all and seize the 9 lives, 1 chance opportunity. Then, they shouted loudly, and stuffed the popsicle into his mouth. At that moment, a tremendous golden light shot straight through the clouds as people say that all of Tao's wisdom lies in seeing through life and death. We have all died several times now. Does that count as a great cultivation achievement? We should thank Nathan for letting us die so many times. Let's go back and reflect on it. Surely we will have a great cultivation breakthrough. At this point, The two of them felt physically exhausted and claimed to feel unwell, so they bid farewell to Nathan and headed back. Is Nathan confused, wondering if they are getting diarrhea from eating something too cold? Nathan, I can't hold it anymore. I heard Emperor's stomach rumbling loudly and exploded with a huge noise. He dashed into Nathan's bathroom at the speed of light. After a long while, Emperor finally came out of the bathroom, marveling at how extraordinary Nathan's outhouse was. Nathan asked with concern if Emperor was feeling any better. Emperor thought he was asking about Tao wisdom, and said that he would need to go back and digest it slowly on his own. Nathan, on the other hand, thought he had diarrhea, understanding that it would take some time to digest. These two individuals are clearly not on the same page. When Princess also comes out of the outhouse, the two of them then bid farewell to Nathan and prepared to leave. At this moment, Nathan suddenly called out to Emperor. I have one more thing I'd like to ask for your help with. Linciantao Palace is far away on the other side at this time. Just saw Divine Maiden Madison kneeling on the ground. There are 5 people standing opposite her. The first person asked, Madison, do you know what risks your master is facing right now? Madison knows. Master is undergoing the Tao Heart interrogation. Not bad, the Tao Heart interrogation is a major ordeal. Lightly, the Tao Heart is damaged. For those who have achieved great success in the fusion realm, the Tao Heart interrogation is not just an opportunity for cultivation breakthrough, but also a symbolic life-threatening sign. If she passes, she can reach the tribulation realm, but if there is any slight mistake, she will directly collapse and perish without a trace. Palace Master is concerned about her own safety and the safety of Linciantao Palace. For the past century, she has been suppressing her unwillingness to make a cultivation breakthrough. This time, she could not suppress it for some reason. Sects and demon beasts that are hostile to us are all waiting for this opportunity. Linciantao Palace is in urgent need of manpower. At this time, moving all the disciples to work as security guards on a mountain may not be appropriate, right? The top priority is to quickly summon the disciples back and strengthen security. But Madison insisted, No! It is precisely because of demon attacks that we should ensure the security and tranquility of the mountain. The 5 elders were stunned when they heard this. Nathan likes to eat fish from a fishmonger. The Silver Moon Demon King was killed, causing chaos among the demons in Lost Immortal City, and the nearby Serene Immortal Lake was also disturbed by the demons. As a result, the fishmonger hasn't been able to catch any fish for almost a month. Nathan loves peace and quiet, and he also enjoys eating wild meat. I want to kill the demon near the mountain and eliminate the demon at Serene Immortal Lake. I also want to hunt wild meat and send it to him after it's been cooked. Each of these things is greater than the sky. The elder thought that this girl might be really stupid, and ordered the Divine Maiden to be sent back to her room to rest. Without his permission, no one is allowed to let her out. What else does Madison want to say? She was tied up by the elder with the immortal binding rope. We'll wait for your master to come out of seclusion to explain who the person Nathan, who bewitched you, is before we discuss further. At this moment, the emperor and his daughter suddenly arrived at the Linciantao Palace. They found the scene quite awkward. Speaking of which, the emperor suddenly visited Linciantao Palace. Elder still had a bad expression and asked lightly, What brings you here? Emperor took out a book and said, I was entrusted by Nathan to bring something to Divine Maiden. Madison got excited when she saw the item in Emperor's hand. This is not the score of ambush from 10 sides. At this moment, Elder took back the rope from Madison. It would not be appropriate for outsiders to see this appearance. Palace Master Secluded Cultivation entrusted you with the affairs of the palace, but never expected you to become so willful now. Madison is unexpectedly different after receiving the music score. Master Secluded Cultivation handed over the Linciantao Palace to me before, so naturally, it's up to me to make the decisions. If the elders have objections, they must be satisfied before Madison can proceed. The elders were momentarily stunned. What do you mean? Madison asks all the elders for guidance. Do you want to challenge me one-on-one? I want to take on all 5 of you. Madison, each of us will cultivate 5 different types of zither music. Do you know what this means? This means 5 different aspects of Tao. If we work together, Palace Master may not be able to withstand our 10 moves even if he is here in person. Have you all thought clearly? The elders all want to know who exactly is in the mountains. Master has ordered Madison not to speak directly, so use this newly obtained music score to inform the elders. Look at Madison and the 5 elders in the sky. Princess couldn't help but worry. Madison's strength is inferior to even 1 elder, yet now she is single-handedly facing off against 5 of them. The sheet music provided by Nathan is actually... She didn't finish her sentence. Just listen to the Emperor saying that Nathan's music score, which is also a guarantee, is an immortal tune. Do you remember the calligraphy Nathan wrote for Lily? Calligraphy and painting can manifest immortality. This musical score must also have a great reputation. I only saw the 5 elders taking out their own musical instruments. They almost simultaneously launched attacks towards Madison. Madison, however, remained completely calm and took out the sheet music calmly. She began to play. In an instant, a protective shield appeared in front of her, blocking all attacks and reflecting them back. It was just a moment. The strings of the elder's instrument were broken. One of the elders asked the great elder senior brother, "Should we continue fighting?" "How can we continue fighting? We have already lost." Princess saw Madison take out 5 elders with just 1 blow. She explained how amazing Nathan's musical score was, but little did she know that the Emperor started crying at that moment. Lily practices calligraphy and painting, while Lincien Tao Palace specializes in musical scores. Lingyun Immortal Pavilion has unknowingly developed a deep connection with Nathan. We have nothing, only we have nothing. We must work even harder and give everything for Sage. Just then, countless lightning bolts suddenly fell from the sky where Madison was. The elders were greatly shocked. This must be a cultivation breakthrough to the late nascent soul stage. With a loud shout from Madison, the dark clouds in the sky dispersed, and all the lightning disappeared. Madison also landed on the ground. The next second, I saw all the elders kowtowing and surrounding him. Some are holding tea, some are picking out clothes for her, and others are helping her style her hair. Madison was initially stunned, then quickly understood. The 5 elders finally grasped the value of this fortuitous encounter. Yes, this score was gifted to the elders by the sage in the mountains, and they were all eagerly nodding in agreement. It is our duty and mission to maintain the sage's ordinary life of peace and stability. According to the intel, Sage wants to eat the water demon from Moonlit Lake. There is no time to lose. We should depart immediately. Right after that, the 5 elders immediately headed to Moonlit Lake, leaving only the father and daughter behind. It turns out that we were just used as errand runners. Have you ever seen such a large abalone? I haven't seen one before. Even if I did, I wouldn't dare to eat it. Nathan saw it and was very excited. This is the type I couldn't afford in my past life. I'll decide to stew it for lunch. Lost Immortal City Fishmonger didn't go fishing for a month. In order to afford the new edition of Journey to the West, he ignored others' advice. He resolutely came to the bustling moonlit lake to fish. He cast a large net into the lake, and the fishmonger sat quietly on the side waiting to catch fish. Demons are not all-knowing and all-powerful. I shouldn't be so unlucky to encounter one, right? Suddenly, the fishmonger sensed movement behind him. He turned around to look. It turned out to be a little rabbit, and he breathed a sigh of relief. However, a huge abalone demon appeared behind him. The abalone demon opened its blood-stained big mouth and knocked Fishmonger down in one fell swoop. Madison arrived just in time. She waved her hand and launched an attack that struck the abalone demon. Abalone winced in pain and immediately jumped into the lake, ready to escape. It was caught up by Madison just in time. She simply said a closing spell softly. The abalone demon was caught in an instant. She was just about to tell the fishmonger that he could fish with peace of mind. She saw him running away with a fishing net on his back in a hurry. At this time, Elder also rushed over. This abalone demon king is very powerful, presumably with many lesser demons following it. Please let the Elder lead some disciples to clean up the nearby lesser demons. With that, she grabbed the abalone demon and flew up. I'll send this wild meat to Nathan. He heard about the wild meat. Elder was clearly stunned as well. The scene changes. Nathan was shocked to see such a big abalone. He circled around the abalone demon. This is the type of food I couldn't afford in my past life. I'll stew it for lunch. Let's eat together. The two girls were excited when they heard this. Madison looked displeased and asked, Princess, why did you come along too? I have to seize the opportunity. It turns out that the Emperor instructed her to visit Nathan more often. If a good romantic relationship blossoms, our immortal dynasty will be blessed. At this moment, Nathan called Whitey to come and work. Whitey appeared handsomely on the scene. It took the water hose and aimed it at abalone. The two of them were stunned when they saw that it was spiritual water. But then, they quickly realized that they had both witnessed the enlightenment of the Tao bamboo igniting fire, so using this spiritual water to wash vegetables didn't seem surprising at all. Just then, a drop of water splashed onto Madison's face. Madison suddenly became unsettled, filled with cheese spiritual water. Oh, I want it so badly. Nathan saw the water splashing onto Madison. He quickly took out a tissue for Madison to wipe herself. Madison was surprised to see such precious spiritual water was going to be wiped away. Isn't this too wasteful? I can't do it. Then Madison stuck out her tongue and licked off the water droplet on her face. But the scene stunned Nathan. What's going on? He stood alone in the wind, looking puzzled. At this moment, Divine Maiden Madison really wished she could find a hole to hide in. She didn't expect to make such a move in front of Nathan. It was incredibly embarrassing. Princess, on the other hand, comforted her, saying that every drop of spiritual water is extremely precious. It's normal that you are reluctant to let go. Besides, it seems like Nathan didn't really care about it either. It's really a social death. Abalone was cleaned up quickly. Whitey then took a knife and quickly diced the abalone with a few slices. At this point, they didn't have time to think about anything else and were all shocked by the knife skills. The abalone demon has lived for over 1,000 years and achieved the spirit separation realm cultivation level, but it was cut down so easily. What's the truth behind this artifact spirit of Nathan's family? Whitey started to stew abalone at this time too. Abalone can not only effectively enhance immunity and regulate blood pressure, but also nourishing, soothe the liver, and tonify the kidneys. Together with the medicinal cuisine, pacify liver and subdue yang, relieve thirst and unblock urinary obstructions. Let you see the true power of the gourmet Whitey. The two ladies were also shocked by Whitey's amazing cooking skills. Soon, Whitey shouted loudly, "Done!" They approached the pot. Just the fragrance was about to unbearable. When Whitey opened the pot, bursts of golden light erupted instantly. They were surprised that the food was glowing. Then they completely disregarded their image and started eating directly. Just one bite, and the two of them were immediately hooked. Top-tier artifact spirit as the chef, spiritual water as the soup, and spirit medicine as the seasoning. Add an abalone for its natural sweet freshness as the seafood component. As if it purified all their obsessions. Watching them enjoy his food so much, Nathan couldn't help but feel happy too. I can make all cultivator love it so much. I am really awesome. At this moment, Divine Maiden Ivy in the Lingyun Immortal Pavilion is looking worriedly into the distance. The demon is approaching us. The demon passed through the Mystic Cloud Pavilion, and the Mystic Cloud Pavilion was destroyed. After a moment of silence, Ivy asked her father, "Do you have any orders?" Shall we prepare for battle or gather disciples to seek refuge? No, neither, the pavilion master said. Everything is within Nathan's arrangements. We don't need to do anything. We just have to wait. After they finished eating the abalone feast, they bid farewell to Nathan and prepared to head back. However, as soon as the two of them stepped out the door, they immediately sensed the presence of a demon. But they didn't feel it at all when they were in the courtyard just now. It must be that Nathan purified the demonic aura in the quadrangle, so it was not affected. At this moment, outside the courtyard, with the arrival of the demon, it is filled with demonic aura. Soon Madison discovered that things were more than just that. I estimate that the entire immortal dynasty has been enveloped by this demonic aura. Just then, the elder suddenly descended from the sky. Madison hastily asked, what exactly is the situation with this demon? Disciples have already found out that this time, the demon is heading towards the demon-fall sword. He has never seen someone so daring. His sect is on the verge of being destroyed. He is still leisurely drinking tea here. He still thinks that this demon attack is Nathan's test for himself. Madison and Princess learned that the demon will attack Lingyun and Mortal Pavilion. They quickly rushed over to prepare to help. Madison hurriedly comforted the three elders. Three elders, rest assured. Since we are here at Lincientao Palace, we will definitely ensure your safety. Madison just had a cultivation breakthrough and obtained the supreme score, greatly increasing his strength. My father Emperor is also on his way here. After a moment of self-encouragement, Madison asked, why did Demon come directly to Lingyun Immortal Pavilion targeting the Demon Fall Sword this time? And why did such a big event happen without the presence of the Pavilion Master? The elder helplessly replied, the Pavilion Master is currently in the palace. You will understand once you see him. But as soon as they opened the door, the two of them were stunned. The silly guy was leisurely drinking tea and even asked why they had time to visit today. They were speechless. Why are you still so relaxed? Don't you know that demon is on the way? I know. After speaking, he took out the notice from Demon and showed it to them. Just listen to Osmond casually saying, because I know Demon's purpose, so I'm not worried at all. Why is that? A few days ago, I visited Nathan's home and used the Demon Fall Sword to chop firewood, thus getting the scent of the Demon Fall Sword on me. The demon sensed this scent and mistakenly thought that the Demon Fall Sword was at my Lingyun Immortal Pavilion, so it planned to come and steal it. After careful consideration, I finally understood. This is all arranged by Nathan. Presumably, Nathan wants to use me as a pawn to lure out this demon. When they heard it, they realized. That makes sense! Then they were all excited, so Pavilion Master wasn't worried at all. They just needed to wait for the demon to arrive, and Nathan would arrange for powerful help. Of course. The three of them immediately showed a knowing smile. Everything must be part of his plan. So a few people sat down immediately, leisurely drinking tea and chatting. We don't need to worry at all, even if one of the four heavenly kings under the demon's curse, demonic star descends, is coming. The others were stunned when they heard about the four heavenly kings. The demon's curse is the leader of the demons with four great heavenly kings under him, all of whom are powerful demons above the tribulation realm, especially the demonic star descends, who relies on his own tribulation realm cultivation achievement. It is extremely cruel and tyrannical. Wherever it goes, there is a river of blood and no one survives. When a few people think about it, they understand that Sage wants to eliminate the big shots of the demon, and demon is the demonic star descends. No wonder the layout is so careful. Then let's be good pawns. Let's wait to witness Sage's style. The elders of Lingyun Immortal Pavilion look at them with a pleading expression. Is it really like this? Why do I always have an uneasy feeling? And at this moment, on the rooftop, Ivy sees the black mist in the distance coming closer. Just Nathan lives in seclusion in the mortal realm and dislikes fighting. Will he really plan to destroy this demon? And at this moment, three people in the air blocked the demon's path. It ended before it even began. I saw the two individuals being separated in an instant. The injury was caused solely by the long-winged gorilla flying too fast and not being able to brake in time. He looked around and finally turned his gaze towards the direction of the Lingyun Immortal Pavilion. I smelled the demon fall sword in that house. The next second, I saw him slowly opening his palm. He struck towards the Lingyun Immortal Pavilion. Almost in an instant, the houses of Lingyun Immortal Pavilion were all knocked down, and the 4 people who were drinking tea at that moment were stunned. Suddenly, the gorilla appeared behind Osman. Before the crowd could react, he launched a fierce blow towards Osman. I got it. Just then, the big gorilla threw a punch at the 4 people who were drinking tea. The big gorilla looked puzzled and said, "Huh? Why don't I feel the sensation of squashing someone?" He raised his hand to take a look and noticed a protective shield rising around the 4 people. This is exactly the piece played by Madison using the musical score gifted to her by Nathan. Thanks to Madison's possession of this musical score, otherwise, we might have already. Lincian Tao Palace Elder explained that it's truly formidable in the tribulation realm. Even if the 3 of us join forces, we still cannot match it. There's no need to panic. We just need to hold on until Nathan's great power can come to our aid. At this moment, Big Gorilla held his head and shouted loudly, "This sound is really annoying." He then unleashed a frenzy of attacks toward the protective shield. Before long, the protective shield couldn't hold on any longer. I saw the protective shield crack open like a broken eggshell. Madison was instantly knocked unconscious by this attack and fell to the ground. Osman saw this scene. Is this also part of Nathan's plan? At this moment, Big Gorilla approaches Osman with red eyes and demands, "Demonfall sword, hand it over." Osman is no longer calm when he sees this. He delivers the strongest blow directly at Big Gorilla. However, Big Gorilla is just a slap. Osman's right arm disappeared. The crowd was shocked just as Big Gorilla was about to strike again. The Emperor arrived just in time. He stopped the final blow. They watched as the Emperor arrived. Big Gorilla calmly said, "Although weak, it is still stronger than the ants before." Do not be careless. I have to be more serious now. And then I unexpectedly saw the big gorilla tearing open its own belly. And then he was under the horrified gaze of the crowd. A black shadow flew out from the belly of Big Gorilla. After everyone had a clear view, it turned out that the black shadow that rushed out was the true form of Demonic Star Descends. Demonic Star Descends launched an attack on the crowd as soon as it landed on the ground. The crowd immediately launched their defense upon seeing the situation. However, they were unable to hold out for long. Everyone was knocked flying by Demonic Star Descends, watching their own side's dismal defeat. Osman's face showed an incredible expression. Could it be? Sage made a mistake? Or have we become Sage's abandoned pawns? At this moment, Demonic Star Descends flew over with a large machete. I've played enough. I'm going back to hand in my task. It's useless to hide the sword anywhere. Demonfall sword is the servant of Demon's Curse. Demon's Curse will definitely be pleased. Osman looked puzzled at the blood in the hand of Demonic Star Descends. Is this my blood? By using the Demonfall sword and your blood as a guide, you can summon it back. Then you will see Demonic Star Descends with a lewd smile. When Demon's Curse is pleased, he will reward me by letting me touch soft things. Then you will see Demonic Star Descends reaching towards the sky. The purple demonic aura soars into the sky.